Peace, peace, peace. Robat, greetings. We about to do something that definitely probably should have been done a long time ago. However, there's no grander of a time than right now. And we about to dive into the holy tablets that inspired a lot of the conscious community conversations that you hear on Clubhouse. The rhetoric, the word points, the talking points, the ideologies. We're going to be breaking down from one book by Dr. Malachi Z. York how this conscious place, the reason for that involvement, and where we're supposed to be going with this. So the conscious involvement that I'm speaking about, this conscious involvement is separate from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, Yahweh Ben Yahweh, Ben Amin, anybody. It's Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Is separate from that. Not to say that these brothers aren't doing and haven't done anything to contribute to the struggles that they contributed to. It's just that this literally is a total different alignment, a total different process, a total different, advancement that took place that caused for wokeness as you know it to be what it is now. If it wasn't for Malachi and what he brought to the scene, then it would not have been wokeness. It would have stayed separation of death. People would have had to be integrated into Islam, Nation of Islam, become a reverend, Christianity, Hebrew Israelites, or fall up under any of the other Islamic schools like the NOGEs, Nation of the Gods of the Earth, all that. But we went past that because of Malachi Z. York. So we're going to get into what is the human beast. What is that? Replays are on, and we're going to be taking a lot of days, breaking certain things down from the holy tablets. And if you tune in or if you share the room, you will allow for yourself, will allow for other people to see where this started, why it started, and where it's going, where we're supposed to be going with it. So without further ado, the human beast. Lo, supreme and marvelous. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I got this right. Lo, supreme and marvelous are all you've done and do. O thou, who are the Elohim of the creators, the all the power of all. Just and true are thy divine ways, O ruler of the Etherian holy ones. And who is it that dares not revere thee, O Elohim? All that exists by way of the all. From all we come and unto all we return. The life in our bodies, the blood in our veins, the breath in our lungs. Lo, arise, you purifiable souls. Come you into one mind, for it is your life, short as it be. But ever gracious is El Elo Anu, who is called Elion Elion El. This Anu is the Most High, who taught you by his light, which shines through the inks of Yam, the seas, and the pages of the trees. He who has 1,000 names. Be you prisoners no more in the mud of your flesh. Escape into total harmony with the Anunnaki, who are the Elohim, in the name of our beloved father Anu, and his children, the Anunnaki, Elohim, by the way of the Holy Spirits, the Igigi, and be you born again of spirit in an Etherian form. For I, yes I, from afar, yet ever so near, am sent by our Father to bring you back into the bosom of Elion Elion El, who is Anu, the Most High, your heavenly one, master of the boundless universes. Wrestle not with the facts, for there is facts beyond any doubt in truth. For there is no strength nor power granted except in he who is called Anu, the ever-living master of all the worlds, who sent Tammuz, and Adonai, who is called Messiah. My craft, Nibiru, hovers overhead, peak its sight, and its circled rainbows overhead and ever so bright. Trust you in these signs, the seen and the unseen, that will be seen without doubt. Yet seen it is not by blind-eyed hearts, deaf, dumb, they wander on in ignorance. This unquestionable truth I bring it unto you, and this scroll of Anu, wherein the wise finds all truth. Unquestionable, for it quenches the thirst of the woman and the man in the desert of untruth. Rest your needing spirit and put your trust in the hands of your creators, the Anunnaki, Elohim, and you shall be made free. Trust you in all them which precede me, and make no distinction between any of them, and surrender completely. Oh, that you may once again put on the robes of Apsu, the sun, ever so bright, blinding the eyes of his disagreeable sons, and turning his faces from impenetrable celestial ignorance unto consciousness. Call out in prayer for forgiveness from the ruler and petition through impartiality with humility and justice your right to the throne. Call and come praise in a universal love far beyond this one, Planet Key, which is where you hear people like the brother Rashad Jamal saying Planet Kai. Is Planet Key, but he got it from the Holy Tablets. Positioned ever so careful in this small galaxy. Its weight 6 sextillion tons, a unit followed by 1 and 20 ciphers, moving at a speed of 1,030 and 7 1/3 miles per hour as it revolves around your life star, Apsu, the sun. Your planet, Tiamat, Ki, Gi, or Gaia, also spelled Ki, Ki, or Terra, or Earth, being at one time adjacent to your Sheski, or Kingu, or Luna, Kamar, or the moon. Her birth date being 11 billion years ago as of this birth date written. You have lost your celestial contact nearly 6,000 years ago. Giving rule to Anshar, Saturn, being put under the spell of Kingu, called the Great Anzu, who is Leviathan, that old Nekash called Iblis and Samael. Your Father, who are in all and who governs all, has forgiven you this day through me. For I, Malachi, am an executor of his will, not a news bearer or one of the ones that was sent, though I have been given the ability to prophesy, and I have been sent as an apostle. I am not merely a prophet or an apostle. I am a reformer, a renewer. All right. Malachi is letting you know he's not just some messenger. He's just not somebody who just came along and started telling people things or lecturing people about things or encouraging people about things. No, his presence alone was causing a reformation of the entire world we're in. It is clear now that the only way you can have some type of foundation of information in these days and time called wokeness or conscious information or right knowledge, that had to come through Malachi York. I'm talking about the conscious community as it is today. Not how it used to be when Noble Drew Ali was teaching about mental slavery and breaking the chains thereof. Not when Malcolm X was talking about the national birthright and how to claim it. Not when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was carrying on the messages of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and teaching about the black man and how he's powerful and what it means to be black in America and economics. No, there's a total different pathway that was laid out by Malachi, and we aren't being taught about it, and it's costing us. It's already cost us 20 years, and it's going to cost us more time if we don't know that this pathway, not just a person exists, but this pathway has been laid out for people to be able to take that has everything to do with the action, not just what you know or what you think you know or what you can debate. It has everything to do with the action of preserving or saving your soul or liberating your soul from this world, that you might be able to experience it on a whole different frequency. Change the state of what's happening with your children so that they can experience it on a whole different frequency and better preserve your people. This was the pathway that was laid out in full by Malachi. No more chains have to be on the mental. No more chains have to be on the soul. And no more chains have to be on the conscious. But if we don't understand that this pathway has been laid out and we haven't been exposed to this pathway, people will not know. And they will continue to walk in these smaller schools that cause confusion because they're broken up into so many facets. And people don't understand each other. They don't want to work with each other. They lost. They walking around blind. You understand? This is the time for people to remember that the renewal has already taken place. You're standing in it, but you have to just understand what you're looking at. Okay? He said, I am not merely a prophet or an apostle. I am a reformer, a renewer. I have come to renew your 25,000 year history. I am an incarnation of Marduk. Okay, or Marduk, Come you all unto me, that I may show you what it is to befall this world, turning bitter pages honey sweet again. Again, for the faithful on their journey to the all-powerful Anu, then home within the all. Ask of me, I shall by leave of my grandfather Anu, who is beyond your comprehension at this point in your life, who is the ruler of the galactical heavens. Holy is his names. 90 and 9 plus 1 given unto Anu. He also gave you the birth pains of your planets, wicked beings, reptilians. The moon, which was originally called Sheshki, then Kingu, and Luna was parted from Tiamat. Earth 24 billion years ago. From amongst the Anunnaki who formed Tiamat's host, her firstborn, Kingu, she elevated. Now they're telling you it's true, by the way. Now the scientists are agreeing with what he said, even though they called him crazy, that yes, there was some type of event that took place, a planet that hit the earth that caused for the moon to be born. Okay? To raise weapons for the encounter, to be in the lead for combat. In the battle, to be the commander, these to the hand of Kingu Tiamat entrusted, as she caused him to be in her host. I have cast a spell for you, she said to him. I have made you great in the assembly of the Anunnaki. Dominion over the Anunnaki I have given unto thee. Verily, you are supreme. Tiamat gave Kingu the tablet of destinies, fastened it on his breast. Kingu was elevated and had received a heavenly rank. It was this sin of Tiamat giving Kingu his own orbital destiny that enraged the other planets to the point of calling in Nibiru, that was also called Murdoch, to put an end to Tiamat and her out-of-line consort in the ensuing celestial battle. Tiamat was split in two. One half was shattered, the other half, accompanied by Kingu, was thrust into a new orbit to become the earth and its moon. And Kingu, who had become chief among them, Murdoch made shrink as a dugai, mass of lifeless clay. Murdoch took from Kingu the tablet of destinies, which was not rightfully his, and sealed on it his own seal and fastened it to his own breast. Deprived of its orbital momentum, Kingu was reduced to the status of a mere satellite, called your moon. See me in birth, for you have tested me. Too long have I felt your torturous swords of doubt piercing my heavy heart. We, the Anunnaki, being born before your Apsu, the sun, 70 and 6 trillion years ago. And your star, the sun, being 90 and 3 billion years ago, placing it by way of 550 and 4 million tons of hydrogen, changing into 550 million tons of helium each second. 4 million remaining creating planets such as yours. And your sun being placed 90 and 3,840 and 2,015 miles from Tiamat. The explosion of sound travels at the speed of 1,124 feet per second. It being 850 and 470 and 4 miles in a diameter, thus aligning itself with your earth in the time when it positions itself in the location of revolution Earth in the lunar logging of 1982nd year in the Gregorian calendar and the 1983rd year in the Gregorian calendar. When the alignment, the great vortex will open again in the lunar logging of the 1993rd year in the Gregorian calendar. Then in 2003 AD, when Nibiru will arrive for the 144,000, it will depart in 2030 AD. The great vortex will then open 2043 AD. We will depart forever. It's light reaching you every 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Allowing life forms to flourish gives growth, life. Let's stop there. What he's talking about is the rapture that the Hopi talked about, that the Lakota talked about, that the ancient Egyptians talked about with the boat of 1,000,000 years, that the Christians speak about with the holy city coming from God out of heaven in Revelation 21. Okay, they're talking about some type of event, which is what everybody is speaking about now, of the chosen people being taken up, abducted, or pulled into the vehicles or ships, or boarding the ships like they showed you in the movie Knowing. okay, and taking them to a new world. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and the old heaven and earth were passed away, okay? All of the things of the former world were gone. When you watch the movie Knowing, and they told you in the Bible, or they told you in these scriptures, and they told you in these stories, not by water again will it be destroyed, but by fire it'll be destroyed, and showed you the burning lake, okay? In the movie Knowing, that burning lake was illustrated for you. All right, they gave you a visual of that burning lake when there was some type of solar event dealing with the sun, the crown, corona, in a time period marking where there was a destruction to take place, and you saw the lake of fire in the movie Knowing. That's what a lake of fire looks like, a nuclear explosion, okay, of a sort, a weapon released on the planet Earth that ends life. Then they have the movie Greenland, where they showed you the same type of attack, and they said it was a comet. Then they have the movie Don't Look Up, where they showed you the same type of attack, and they said it was a comet. And ironically enough, when they were talking about Neperu or Nibiru, all right, decades ago in the 80s and 90s, they were saying that there was a ship that came behind Hellbop. That was a planet-sized ship. It was living. It was an orb. It was 4 times the size of the planet Earth. They described all of the same things that Malachi York described this ship to have as far as its measurements. Okay, a much greater ship than what human beings have been able to create. So they were confused about what it was, and they found that that was the holy city that was being spoken of through observation by Johann or John in the book of Revelation. You understand? Where those things were being revealed, that there was going to come a time where a heavenly body would approach the planet Earth. Now, they're telling you that, yes, there is a heavenly body called Planet X, and they're not sure where it came from. They're not sure how it got in the galaxy, that they're not sure how it got in the solar system, and they know that it's not alone. It's accompanied by other vehicles, and they disguise it as black matter. When you go and look at Google Sky and you see those black boxes, they're disguising it as black or dark matter because those are cloaked vehicles, and they don't know how to observe those vehicles because those vehicles are bending light around it. You can't see them. That's a cloak, but they're able to detect that whatever mass of an object is sitting in those spaces that are being blacked out, that mass of an object is causing for other celestial bodies to be affected as far as their orbit. Do you understand? And that's how they know that they're there. So Malachi was crazy, but the scientists are saying that he's telling the truth. Okay, the people who wrote the books, John it was called pseudo or allegorical, what he was talking about. But the scientists are confirming what they're saying. They're confirming what they're saying now, and they're preparing to go to war. Okay, they're preparing to go to war with God as you know it, And how it has been explained, you can go and look further into it. But God as you know it is an enemy of the planet. Why? Because the planet or the world is being ruled by the fallen ones. And the fallen ones know that what they've been doing here in the earth plane is forbidden. And the type of system they've been running is forbidden. So if you have a galactic federation, right, that everybody's talking about because of Malachi, because of the Holy Tablets. When y'all hear people get on here and they pulled into these platforms to talk about Enki and Enlil and the Galactic Federation and Anu and Marduk, they got it straight out of the Holy Tablets. You understand? And you can tell by, if you've read it ever, which I have, how they speak on these things. They speak on it from deeper than a Zachariah Sitchin ever went, deeper than a David Icke ever went. All right, and that's because the Holy Tablets went into dates and time periods and alignments that did happen. And those alignments were scaring the scientists because they were trying to figure out how could somebody know these things? Where was he getting his information from about these things and these events that did take place? Okay, so I just wanted to let you know that what we're reading is talking about the heavenly city called Jerusalem or Heru Salem, a Salem of a sun, a Salem, a place where you can be safe and peaceful. Salam, Heru, Horus, Herut, all right, is dealing with something coming from out of the sky, the new Jerusalem, a new Jerusalem. Okay? And that's not something that they want to explain to you, because then I have to explain to you what is Space Command, Why are they nervous? Why are they creating new mechanisms to fight off things and showing you that they can shoot down asteroids miles and miles away from the planet? What are they really preparing for? What is the war that they're preparing for? What is Star Wars actually talking about? What is the destroyer that they showed you in the movie Rise of the Silver Surfer? What is that? And who was the Silver Surfer for real? That was an Etherian. Okay? The Silver Surfer and the angels that they showed you in the movie Knowing, those are one and the same. Those are Etherians. And they have missions that they have to carry out. And one of those missions is to come bring about the destruction of the planet, of the world. But before they do that, redeem those who are called the elect away from the planet, and then cause for the destruction to befall them. And they know that that's happening, so they're trying to leave. They're trying to get out. And they're leaving you every clue in every movie, but they call it science fiction so you don't think that it's real. They're trying to leave. This may have something to do with you. It may not have anything to do with you. You may be a part of the chosen. You may not be a part of the chosen. However, you not believing in it is not enough for it not to be happening. You not thinking that this has any validity is not enough for it not to actually be happening. Where do they get all of these concepts from? Where do they get all these ideologies from? And what do they want to protect the earth against? What do they want to protect the world against? Why do they think, like they said in the book of Revelations or in the Bible, they said that these people were going to be able to form armies or try to form armies to go to war with God? You understand? And that's exactly what they did in 2019. They saw that that this time was speeding up. They started to realize that we are at a national emergency, an international emergency. More people are coming to the light and waking up, and the corona is being activated. The crown chakra is being activated. That's the day of Pentecost. That's where the Father's name being written in the forehead is undeniable. Okay? And they've been trying to stop that from happening since the 70s. They were trying to kill all of the people who could give birth to any of the 144,000. They want you not to believe in, quote unquote, the prophecies, but everything they're doing is in alignment with those prophecies. You will have to have read these stories. Okay? So it's been laid out for you. All right? It's light reaching you every 8 minutes and 20 seconds, allowing life forms to flourish, gives growth, life, the provider of the earthquakes after the meteorite showers that brought the darkness upon the face of the deep, crashing down onto the tip of Yucatan. See you in the light. See me stand at your door and knocking ever so lightly. I will hear and welcome you in my grandfather's Anu house in Orion of many rooms. What does that sound like? In my father's home, there are many mansions. Great kingdom of thrones, fit for rulers alone, and each 7 in all, or 7 to the 7th power of 7. And his being is 9 to the 9th power of 9. Woe to those who turn away and are impatient with me. Know that I am walking you in the valley of fear. So fear not, or persecution is a sign. So fear not, for persecution is a sign of truth. All right? Don't have any fear. A lot of people turned away. If you want to know the truth, most people turned away. Most people turned away from the walk. Okay? They didn't actually believe in what they said they believed in. Malachi York showed up on the scene and showed them how to have the faith with the facts. So they have no excuse now, and they still turned away. So for those of you who did not turn away from righteousness, okay, who didn't turn away from, even if you would fall short every now and again, you still stood on righteousness. You still fought and said the devil's world has to fall. I don't care how popular you've made it. I don't care how ignorant you've bred these people to be. Your world will still fall. Guess what? You will be persecuted. You will be left out. They won't invite you to the conscious circles. They won't invite you to the conscious meetings. All right? They have meetings. I asked, I said, yo, why I didn't know about this? Or I thought somebody was going to tell you. Who was going to tell me that you were doing things in my city that has to do with this that I'm telling you that I'm on? Why didn't I know about it? Why am I left out of these things? Well, it's because the truth is not of the many. All right? The actual connection with those people that we're talking about, the Anunnaki, is not of the many. It's of the few. Malachi said, when this is all over, only 9 of you will be with me. 9 out of 9 billion. You understand? So the only way for it to even be the conversation of the masses, you have to first be able to identify who are those people who have the telepathic connection that the movie E.T. was showing you have to have. E.T. phone home. Who are those people who really have the connection? And when I tell people I've been on the vehicle face to face with these people, they don't understand what that means or how important that is. They walk around me like I'm just some spiritual person trying to sell my herbal teas. And that's fine. It doesn't stop what's happening. All it does is continue to show me that when it comes time, all right, and what I saw happens, it's because these people brought this on themselves. They didn't want to listen. They got proud. They got arrogant. They forgot certain parts. All of you are the children of the Most High. However, you are the children of the Most High. Wait, I said all of you are gods. However, you are the children of the Most High. But where do people stop at? They say, we are all gods. I know where you got it from, but why don't you say the other part that literally follows that? Because you will have to explain who that is. And if you're their children, you will know who they are because they will have revealed themselves to you by now. So then, if there are only a few of his children left or their children left, those children can do something about what's going on the planet. Those children can vouch for the people who don't have the ability to vouch for themselves. But they kill all of their children. The people kill those children, or they silence those children. You understand? So this is where we are. People are saying we are gods, but they don't want to acknowledge the Anunnaki, the Elohim. How do we go from literally knowing who they were by name to saying that, oh, it's just us? There is nothing outside of ourselves. No, those are the teachings of the devil. How is there nothing outside of ourselves? And everywhere we look, we see devilish things. People are having devilish experiences, devilish sleep paralysis encounters, devilish encounters in their communities. All right, everything we see operates off of amber light. Everything we see. And that's the external. So where is the external that our ancestors used to have? The connection. And this is why he said you lost that connection. We don't have it. You understand? So persecution comes with the truth. Don't be confused. You're not going to be glorified, at least not at first. Not that that's your goal to be glorified. At first, they're going to spit on you. At first, they're going to ignore you. At first, they're going to leave you out. At first, they're going to wish death upon you because you're challenging a world that they benefit from for real. If they didn't benefit from a world of deception, they would help you bring it down. They would help you destroy it. They would help you shatter the illusion or the delusion. But they won't help you shatter the delusion because what you'll find is that after that illusion shatters, you're going to see who they really are. And because they fear for time and they fear death, even though they say they don't, they fear for time and they fear death because they know that those are two things you really can't avoid. No matter how much you say they don't exist, everybody's shell is going to have to return back to the dust, the ground from which it came. Like the Quran said and like the biblical scriptures say, from Allah you came, back unto Allah you shall return. This greatness that you've established for yourself, that you haven't earned by way of the source, as you call it, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or God, or this breathing life force, Akat energy. Okay? If you haven't earned that and you've only claimed it for yourself, then you're going to see what it truly means to be finite. You think 6 ether beings were only reserved to be Caucasian or Caucasoid? No. This is why the illusion must be shattered. There are greater beings than us in this formation. Human beings we're not the last step in evolution, period, at all. We're not the most powerful beings on the planet Earth. The consciousness that we working with, we done got arrogant with it and think that because we know a little bit, that now we surpassed even the ascended masters who came here to show us that which we didn't know so that we could know or that we could see. We done got bold. I'm the creator. I'm the source. You understand? And if you ask those people, when did you create all of this? They can't answer you. How did you create all of this? They can't answer you. What was it before you created it? They can't answer you. Turn down the pride and the arrogance of you are God, or you are the creator, or you're the Elohim, or you're the Anunnaki, and you better figure out who you actually talking about, because those are the only ones who can help you. Those are the only ones who have the ability to hold that door open and allow for you to exit hell. But nobody's in contact with them. But we got a million movies about paranormal activity and demons and everybody else that people have encountered while they're in the earth plane that is in a condition or a state of hell as declared by the Anunnaki. Disembodied people running rampant on the earth, body to body, jumping through people, devilish things happening every day. Devilish people rising to the surface every day. People blacking out, killing people and coming back and not knowing what they did. Not even remembering, what did you do? I blacked out. What does that mean? That something else took control over your consciousness. And we have a state in a condition in this world where most people are blacking out and don't even realize it. They're on autopilot. So that's where they push the button in the lockdown, the singularity, like they showed you in the Matrix movie. And they will turn the world against you. I had a song lyric where I say, when they turn the world against me, baby girl, just stay by the phone. Meaning, when that happens, make sure you have a connection. Make sure you have. I told my brothers and sisters who were at the high school with me when I started Pharaoh Clan as an organization to teach them the sciences like the 16-year-old Mason video you saw. All right, that was one video, 6-minute video of all the different classes that I had even been doing. That was only one. I told them, I said, if something happens to me, if they take me out before I'm able to shift this paradigm, I said, you run as fast as you can to a Malachi York book and you pick it up and you read it and you take in as much of the information as you can and watch it change your genes, and you make contact with them because they hold the keys. They get us out. They're the only ones who can. So the same way when you become a Mason, in order for you to travel or become a Mason, you have to admit that there is a supreme being. They won't even let you through the doors. They won't even let you learn what the sacreds are or the secrets are until you put down your pride at the door. You can't come in here with that. You take your pride off. It's the same way when you become a Muslim. You give shahada. Do you understand? You pay homage or reverence to Allah as the creator, alone with no partners. Why though? Because that humility of I don't know, because you don't know Allah, you don't know God, you don't know the source, and you don't know the host. You don't know the angelic host. You don't know these people. The humility of I don't know allows for you to seek them out. But if you think already that you know what you're talking about, when you say there are no gods outside of ourselves, you are already left behind. Your name isn't written in the book of life because you haven't ET phone home, made contact with them. And it's easy to be arrogant now. It's easy to be arrogant now. because you feel like you still have what you actually fear the end of: time. People feel like they still have time, so you can be as arrogant as you want to be until you can't. Until you're faced with a force that's been right there next to you your entire life, much more powerful than yourself. And all of the illusions of the world that you've attached yourself to, every identity, every id, ego, and super ego facet of yourself crumbles before you. And you're standing in front of that force moving across this world that you already knew existed. And there's nobody there to congratulate you. There's nobody there to egg you on. There's nobody there to glorify you. There's nobody there to have pity on you but you. And if you've ignored every aspect of any message that came through to you to revere, all right, so that it might be revealed to you what you're speaking about, that force, then and only then will you be humbled. And I'm telling you this because that's only the force we're talking about. Not even to mention the watchers who are recording everything, who see everything. The reason why people don't have to argue about who the Israelites are is because they see everything. They know who their genealogy is. They know who their children are. We don't need any of these people to come and tell us who those people are. We know who we are. We know who you can't act like you're one of us. We feel it on your soul. You could be blacker than me. If I come across you and I don't feel your relevance to me, if I don't feel that you are related to me, you are not my family. Do you understand that? So you have family all across the board. We know who we are. But like he said, there were going to be people who was going to act like they were us. Not only did Malachi say it, Jesus said it. All right? A lot of people said it. That there were going to be people that rise up and say that they were this and say that they were that and will deceive many. False prophets. The illusion has to be shattered, and it has to be shattered fast. You don't have as much time. We don't have as much time as we think we do. We don't. We never did. That's why it's speeding up. The trumpet has already been blown. They're already gearing up to leave. I told people you wouldn't even know when they left. When you saw the movie Knowing, the people that was in the world, they didn't know anything about what was going on behind the scenes. They didn't know that them people was there picking up them people. Thief in the night, remember? You wouldn't even know we left. But what they said was, with or without you, this has to be done. Who has prepared their children for this? To be the chosen. And would you be able to let your children go, even if you couldn't go? So that they will be spared from the lake of fire that everybody thinks is talking about some hell with a pitchfork. No, spared from the destruction, the cleansing of the planet Earth. She needs to be cleansed. It's too low. When you set something afire, you raise its frequencies. The phoenix, the purging needs to take place on planet Earth. Now, we can purge it with information if people would listen. That's one fire. That's the information. That's the Firefox that destroys the web around the planet Earth that they showed you in the logo, Firefox logo. The information can delete the trap on the minds or the web on the minds of the planet Earth, the World Wide Web. The information age is that fire. However, if the information is corrupt and becomes corrupt and it's carried by people who don't even have that fire burning, it goes back dormant. And then there has to be a new fire. Do you understand? And that new fire, you can't avoid it. They say there will be nothing you will be able to do. Okay? Now, this isn't doomsday. This is why people say, yo, when we was in school, when we had a test, and your teacher said, yo, we got a test coming up, the only people who feared that test or thought that it was a doomsday speech, you know, when you speak on certain things, people say, oh, this doom and gloom. This doesn't sound doomy and gloomy to me. It's like, maybe because I'm not on the side of the ones who would think this is something to dread. I think this needs to happen faster than it's happening. That's just me. I don't dread the purging of the planet. I don't dread the cleansing of this world. I've already told people, no. If we're living in a day and time where people know that children are being tortured as we speak and trapped as we speak, and they don't care, well then no, I think it needs to happen faster because they don't even care about their future. We done seen wars, protests, riots, marching about everything except human trafficking. And what's happening with the children right now. They make movies boasting about it. Pinocchio. You understand? Showing what they're doing in real time. The Love and Thunder movie with Thor. They showed it. Taking these people to a dark world, these children to a dark world, locking them in cages. Do you understand that? And the people haven't risen up and saying, free our children. They haven't turned this place completely upside down, knowing that. Knowing that. No. If they ask me, I would tell them, push the button. Only reason why I haven't told them push the button is because they haven't asked me yet. But when they do, if we weren't able to flip this completely upside down, push the button, clear it all out, start it over. You understand? It needs to be cleansed. So what did he say? Fear not, for persecution is a sign of truth. I will let you drink from the cup of everlasting truth, and I suffer to protect you from the hissing ones who whisper disagreeable suggestions, placing questions of doubt about the galactical heavens in your heart. So fall not into their treacherous grips, as did many who were chosen before you. Who is he talking about? He's talking about the conscious community. I'm going to read it again. I suffer to protect you from the hissing ones who whisper disagreeable suggestions, placing questions of doubt about the galactical heavens in your heart. There are no gods outside of us. There's nothing outside. There's no sky daddy. Straight disregarding everything our ancestors said before the Bible. Why though? Because those are Nakash's children. They don't feel a connection. They feel cut off. They're Luciferian. So they want you to be cut off with them. No, I'm telling y'all, I have a connection with whoever they are. I have one. I don't have to prove it. I don't need to show no ID on that. Do you have one? I know who they are. I've been face to face with them. And since I've been face to face with them, I had multiple encounters after that. And I've seen their vehicles flying. This is not some spiritual ghost conversation I'm talking about. This happened in the physical world. And I'm able to show people that I have connections with them. I've shown people those vehicles, those ships, just like Malachi did. They're here. The Romans wasn't tripping when they said they saw flying shields glowing like orange balls of fire. The ancient Egyptians weren't tripping when they said they saw chariots of light or mu'at. They weren't tripping. The ancient Hebrews weren't tripping when they said, yo, we saw chariots of fire. The Native Americans weren't tripping when they said, yo, we saw thunderbirds glowing in the sky with a reddish glow. Thunderbirds. So we the only motherfuckers tripping. We the only ones that lost our mind. We the only ones as a people that think that flying saucer, flying shield, flying chariot, flying Vermana, flying chariots, flying palaces is not all saying the same thing. vehicles in the sky that you don't know what they are. You don't know who they are. So you call them angels, or you'll say Pegasus, or horse with wings. Because it's a vehicle, and your vehicle is a horse. That's all you know about. Do you understand that? Nowhere can you go in history where we weren't talking about it. Stop telling me the government made this up. That's who God is. Aliens, extraterrestrials. That's why alien sounds so much like Elion or Ilion. Elion is the name of the Hebrew God. Ilion is the name of the highest galaxy that they know about. It means the most high. Look it up, Ilion. Then go look up Elyon. Now, alien. Do you understand? Don't be fooled by these people. You go and make the connection. That's why I tell people, look up. Now, it's interesting that as I was on Clubhouse for them 2 years saying, yo, don't believe me, go look up. All you have to do is look up. Don't listen to me. I'm not trying to bring you into no pseudoscience or nothing. No, take your own body outside at night. All right? Have patience and look up. And what I tell people, I say, you may see it, you may not. However, everybody that I've told to do this, they were able to see it. And not just people who came to me with a story. In my presence, they were able to witness it. Everybody from strangers down to my brothers, down to my mother, has been able to see these things because I showed them. You think they're just up there doing nothing? Those are those same watchers that everybody used to talk about in Africa. What do you think the slaves was singing about? There's a chariot in the sky, and they wanted them to come and save them. Swing low, sweet chariot. Come forth to carry me home. Those prisoners of war were able to see them. Do you understand? So all you have to do is look up. And now, when I told people to look up for those 2 years, what they wound up coming out with a movie that said what? Don't look up. Don't listen to that nigga. He's crazy. Don't look up. What is the conscious community telling you to do? Don't look up. Look within. Like there's anything you can do other than look within. What about the without? When you had the shamans in the communities of our time thousands of years ago, they were able to communicate with those people, those thunderbirds. They were able to communicate with them. They became the Kachina, the teachers of the stars. Go look up what I'm saying to you. The Kachina. Master teachers who did not come from earth and taught about the stars. When they came to the Dogon tribe, you got people confused. How are we not supposed to look up or find out a connection to those people if the Dogon tribe literally found out about interdimensional travel, intergalactic planets, okay? Planet-sized ship, interplanetary system, Sirius B, things that the U.S. government didn't know anything about until they told them. And then they found out later on, yes, they're telling the truth. There is such a constellation. There is such a star system. How did they know? They said that them people came down and told them that, and they descended in an ark. They telling y'all don't look up because that's where all of this came from. And if all of it came from those people and those beings, right? And now we're talking about the chosen one. What chapter of this book do you think we in? What chapter of Revelation do you think we in? What chapter of the Hopi legacy do you think we in? Or the Lakota legacy? Because the Hopi said that they were told by whoever that avatar was, that Starfather was. And interestingly enough, they made a movie called Avatar. And even more interestingly enough, the one that's coming out now is called The Way of the Water. The Way of the Water. All these people talking about we don't need the matriarch. I brought that conversation to the forefront and said, yes, we do. The women need to be in power. They know what to do now. We don't know what to do. As far as the masculine people, they're not on the right frequency. This is the tsunami, not the earthquake. You understand? And then they come out and say, Avatar, the way of the water. And then I haven't even seen the Wakanda Forever movie or the Avatar 2. I haven't seen either one of them. But I see that they got the Wakanda Forever movie talking about the water people too. That's the Dogon tribe. They had communication with them. So then we need to be asking who amongst these conscious leaders can help us make contact with them, the physical people. Like they show you in the movie in Black Panther, where you see the Wakandians and they flying around in them crafts and the people are waving at the crafts and then they enter into another world. Okay, I need to know who those people are that they're telling us about in that movie. And don't tell me they made them up when I can find them on the Sumerian walls and the ancient Egyptian walls or the Aztec walls and the Inca walls. Don't tell me that they don't exist or there's some type of allegory when the language did not say that. The language said they came from the stars down to earth. That's not an allegory. But the issue is they can't teach us this. They can't show us the vehicles. They're not in tune with these people. They have to call them galactic ancestors and beings and spirits because that means they'll never have to show you anything. Do you understand? But yet they have the right, they have the nerve to talk about the chosen people and don't know who the choosers are. Who's going to do the selecting? Okay? So they said, fall not into their treacherous grips, as did many who were chosen before you, asking that our Father manifest before their weak and vain eyes, calling Yaqub their father. Woe unto you, daughters and sons of Israel, the tribe of Enki. Where are you now? Where have you gone? For we see you no more. Are you listening? Who can you turn to now for manna and quail? No more parting of waters and the sending of 7 plagues for your sake, for you have been wiped from our sight. So think about and ponder the scriptures before you. What does that sound like? Ikra, Muhammad, Rasulullah Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right? Question not the pages of my servants. This present wisdom. Make you not one who differs in any way from one to another. And submit yourselves by throwing your lowly flesh to the earth in prostration and prayer and seek protection in your master. Has anybody done that before? I'm one of the most conscious people probably even know. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the most conscious ones people probably even know. And I put my forehead to the ground in reverence to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm one of the most conscious people probably know. And I put my forehead to the ground and gave it all to God. And you got people who think that they've reached this level of wokeness that will never be able to say that because they don't understand that humility is power. In that regard, you become more powerful when you shut arrogance down even for a moment and let go. And they'll reveal more to you because arrogance is loud. It stops people from being able to speak to you. So you ever seen the master teachers when they going through in the movies and they trying to teach somebody something? First, they have to understand whether or not they even have the discipline. Remember Karate Kid or any master and student movie ever? They have to see that you're able to even be communicated with. So people saying, why don't they reach out to us? Why don't you reach out to them or show that you can be reached? If you walking around with your chin to the air, talking about some, I run this, I'm the creator, I'm the Anunnaki, the type of frequency that you on is blocking that connection. It's the humble and open reception. Understand? That allows for, it's like if I'm trying to speak into a phone, but I cover the microphone, and now I'm still trying to speak into the phone, and the information isn't able to get in as it could if I stop blocking it. But they don't want to deal with it because then it's like you only standing on one school when you talking about inside yourself. There was the outside. And that's what we have to remember. Okay, now watch what he says. Remember, there was once a worshiper whose name I will leave for your thoughts to seek out. He worshiped and agreed to obey Zuin, who is called Anzu. And Zuin, who is called Shaitan, asked him to prostrate at once before him in the name of Adam's progeny. Okay, progeny dealing with the descendants or the offspring of, or the ones who come after, his daughters and sons. And at that point in time, his judgment was removed. He knew not, knowing not whether he stood or sat, he arrived or departed. Not yet he cried out to his shaitan, asking, why have you beguiled me? Any of you who think that you can do without the yielding and the merciful master of all the worlds shall be cast from the garden of delight, and the swords of the cherubim shall be crossed on the gates. But when she, Nekebu, called Eve, repented by way of Seth, he yielded, ordering the cherubim to raise the crossed swords, so that those of her seed who obey may re-enter the tree of eternal life and read the tablet of destiny which sits beneath it. He's called the yielder because he yielded at the gates of the garden. And often was he merciful to you in the name of Anu, the yielder, the merciful. Nakash said unto him on highest, you are trying to betray me and your own soul, for even I spoke. Satan knows no one can disobey the master of the worlds, and you have no right to the will to procreate. Nakash said, I have taken on many forms in all places, called rabbi, preacher, pastor, guide, imam, sheikh, guru, sage, wizard, soothsayer, mystic, mother, Sufi, city, place, father, friend, pet, food, habit, drink, hobby. You find me in all these things. Protect you, your soul. Slide not into binding partners with Allah al-Eliyu. Allahu al-Eliyu, the Most High. But merely close your eyes contemplating the wonders of Allahu al-Eliyu, the Most High. From the cursed shaitan, for this is the heart of Tawheed, oneness. If you go and look at what Tawheed is dealing with, it's saying the oneness or the uniqueness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, the Most Exalted. All right. As Murdoch, as Al-Qadr made it known to all. Al-Qadr is the green one. All right. And shaitan will flee from every part of you at the sounds of these words. For you cannot think past Allahu al-Aliyu, the Most High. Allahu al-Alimu, the knowing. And those were his very own words. Shaitan, who is called Iblis, used to go through all the seven heavens calling out for helpers. All right. Ansaru. Helpers. And 200 of my Malaika, angels, angelic brothers, followed him, residing on Al-Ard, the planet Earth, in the land called Nod. All right. They would listen at the doors of heavenly learning and at the recitation of revelation of Al-Quran before they were sent down in the 19th point in Laylat al-Qadri. All right. Spoken all these words which are read, sealed on his holy pages therein. So bring forth the imagination, for only he could have learned from you, on the conception of Tammuz as Horus or Krishna, Christ, or Maitreya or Yeshua or Isa, Jesus. The galactical heavens were banded still. He used to go to the fourth heaven. Then on the conception of the seal of Al-Nabiyuna, the prophets, Al-Nabi or Al-Nabiyan, if you speak in Arabic, okay? Al-Nabi or the Nabiyun are the prophets, news bearers of the bloodline Ahmad, all right? Called in tones Mustafa Muhammad Al-Amin, and Iblis's entry into all the galactic heavens were banded. Calling him in his Quran, Shaitan 80 times, Iblis 11 times, Targut 8 times. The system of scaring him away by the flaming cherubim was instilled. At the grace birth, Shaitan shouted to his offspring and all rallied around him. They asked as to what bewildered and perplexed him so. Kanash said, woe is me. Because of this birth, I will witness great changes in El Samawati, the galactic heavens, and on Al-Ard, the planet Earth. From the early shadow hour unto this time, verily, some rare but powerful thing is heralded. And I have not seen a color change of this dimension and the likeness of this, since the time of the magnificent ascension to the galactic heavens and the fall of 1/3 of the stars from his grace. At this point, the jinns, the disagreeable angelic beings, son of Shaitan, trusted that he would show them those things that are repulsive to their master. And everyone dispersed into different directions in the planet Earth year 5430. For on that hour was a light born. Recalling all events, they reported that they could discover no pure light in anything. Iblis entered the world from the beginning by impregnating himself into the flesh of several tones. I will mention here Cain, Caesar, Alexander called the Great, Herod, Attila the Hun, Marco Polo, Napoleon, Louis XIV, to mention a few, Abu Lahab, and Yazid. And still, there are some in this world to come, 30 in all. And here now, around 1400 years later, in the revolution of the planet, the pure light returned to behead the hissing one, Dajjal. All right, Dajjal is a deceiver. Shaitan cried out, in the one born in a seed that's destined to rid the universe of the likes of me. So as prophecy would have it, Shaitan says, women shall bruise my head and I your heel. Set off Satan's circling, the galaxy from Anshar, Saturn. Anshar is the sixth planet in order from the sun. Its diameter is 75,111 miles, 6 times the size of Earth. All right. Second largest in this galaxy. You can see this disagreeable beast with an unaided eye. Its period of rotation is 10 hours and 10 and 4 minutes. 6,000 rings are interwoven around Anshar, Saturn, and there the planet for Anshar is the disagreeable gas. An electromagnetic force field encircles the planet as a vapor shield. Its distance from Apsu, the sun, is 886 million miles. And at its closest approach to Earth, Saturn, which is approximately 793,246,123 miles. Saturn has 10 moons. It takes about 10,759 Earth days or 9 and 20 and a half Earth years to circle the sun, to 354 lunar or 365 solar days or 1 year of the planet Earth's time. Sacred year of 269 days, Venusian year of 584 days. The true solar year is 365, 2,422 days. My daughters and sons, the Mayans, called in tones, they calculated 365, 2,420 days. Its axis tilts at 27 degrees from the perpendicular position. The atmosphere of Saturn is hydrogen, helium, methane, and ammonia. The Greeks, from which the last of the 10 kingdoms of the sons of Javan, son of Japheth, son of Noah. This Japheth took Iris and they gave birth to Javaman. This brotherhood derived from afar, and shall come again, and the beast will rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads, 10 horns, named Ansar, Saturn, from after Cronus. All right. Cronus, a titan who ruled the universe until dethroned by his son Zeus, came to remove Shaitan. As mystery signifies the hidden system, Saturn is the hidden god. The Chaldee called it Sator, and that is Stor, or S equals 66, T equals 400, U equals 6, R equals 200. The apocalyptic number 666, which replaced the real letters Zain, 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 or Zig, Zag, Zig. The name Lat, the hidden one, this is Apollo, the sun, called also Apollyon, or Shiva, which is Shiva, the destroyer, called Shaish, or Shish, Shah, father of the 6 from Aramaic, or Adamic, one of the true Trinity. So Latin came from Lat, and this is Titan. Titan is also the name of the 10th planet, and Ansar, Saturn, also bears the names Shagush, Kanenu, and Horus, the bull. His wife was Ops, the goddess and of lust and harvest. He had 6 children: Hestia, Laia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Hell, Poseidon, Greek god of the sea, and Zeus. Because of Cronus swallowing his children, he is frequently identified with Baal Saturninus. This was their El. Now, when I wrote the book, How to Speak Elite, I broke down to you that when you're saying El, you're not saying God as in some good person. You're not saying God as in some bad person. When you're saying the word El, you're literally just saying what the word God means or a ruler means. Somebody who stands over you. So if you are the elite, you can still go up under the teachings of any God because you are a follower of El. But people think follower of El means that you're talking about the same people who taught some of your ancestors or who were on certain sides of these stories like Enki and Enlil or Tammuz versus Shaitan, and you're not. In order for you to be an elite, you have to be an Elite. That was the word I broke down in the How to Speak Elite book. You have to be a follower of El. And the follower of El, in this regard, would be saying that you follow the teachings of, or you follow the sciences that were laid down by any of the guys who came through. And Tahuti was not the only guy who came through, or the first El who you know about. He wasn't the only one. There were other guys. Or you could look at the sciences of Tahuti or El, all right, and you could take those sciences and use them for evil. This is what people are not understanding. You have people say, yo, you can't go and be an alchemist unless you have a pure heart. That's not true. They say you can't be a spiritual ascended master unless you have a good heart of you doing good deeds. No, that's not true. All right. All of the sciences are available for anybody to touch them. If you watch all of the movies, like the Transformers movies, okay, where they talk to you about the all spark or the light of Kalum, the all, okay, they explain to you that there's a war taking place of who's going to have their hands on that spark or that brain activation, that idea, that knowledge, that information that even allows for technology to exist on the advanced levels that they exist on. Okay, the Decepticons versus the Autobots are fighting over who's going to be able to have these things. Okay, and you have even movies like Revenge of the Fallen, where they're explaining to you which ones is doing what. Okay, because the fallen would be the Nephilim, or what you call the Anakim, certain giant beings who descended from people like Anak, who had extraterrestrial blood in him as well. People who were of much higher stature, higher beings, taller beings, giant beings, called the Nephilim over time, or the ones who fell or descended, okay, onto the planet Earth. But even if you don't want to use Nephil, which would mean fall, to help you comprehend the descension aspect of it and not fall like you just tripped and fell, okay? The descension aspect is being illustrated in movies like Revenge of the Fallen, all right? Or Transformers, period, where they have to fall like meteorites in order to get, but they're not crashing as in, you know what I'm saying, being destroyed when they hit the ground. That's just them entering into the Earth's atmosphere. All right. And you see that as somebody who has no knowledge of technology, and you'll say these giants fell to earth. Or you'll do like what they said in Luke 10:18, I beheld Shaitan, or whoever the opposition was in that story, or Lucifer, like lightning fall from the heavens. I said that's a Blu-ray. That's one of the portals that they show you in the movie Thor. Okay, how Thor comes down. You would have been beholding the same thing. All right, not just falling out of the sky. No, channeling to the planet Earth, because you either been cast out and you have nowhere else to go, or you came here on your own accord. Now, in order for you to be cast out and have to come to the planet Earth and still have the weapons and still have the technology that you had when you left, you had to have come here with it, which means that they were banished from their planet. All right, or from their galaxy, and they had to go and find the furthest planet that they could find, or excuse me, the closest planet that they could find to their planet that sustained the life. And this is the place that they found, called the Earth plane. Okay? Doesn't that make more sense than some people just fell out the sky out of nowhere? Somebody pushed them off a cloud? Which one makes more sense to you as a grown person? Somebody was pushed off a cloud and fell to the ground, hit their head, or somebody descended onto the planet Earth based off of however they were coming into the atmosphere, coming from whichever planet or plane of existence they came from. That's how you shatter the illusion. Okay, so they say this was their El. The halo on Jesus' head as depicted by the Christians, symbolizes the rings of Anshar, Saturn, as bright as the sun or the soul of the solar system. When the Son of God died with the crown, all right, of the thorns on his head, the crown of thorns on his head is symbolic of the sun's rays. Remember, I told you, as soon as they came out with Corona, I knew that was a declaration of a time period, the sun cycle. They were declaring it in front of people. The 19, Corona 19. If you go look up what the code for the Quran is, the Quran code is called Codex 19. All right. So I knew what I was looking at because, first of all, I've read the Holy Tablets. But also, once you've read the Holy Tablets, it teaches you to be constantly aware. And as you read these words or hear these words, there are genetic activations taking place. Okay? You're learning things that you don't even know you're learning yet. It's not about even the doctrine. It's about the awareness that's coming through you being exposed to somebody's writing that you didn't even know. A lot of people didn't even know existed because these people wouldn't tell you that they exist. But they also didn't know that this was the most supreme teaching to come out of anything conscious that we have recorded in history. Do you understand? And this yielded all of this conscious talk. But once you find out where it came from, there's a new activation that happens. And then you start listening to these other people who can't do what I've done in these few pages. This was just maybe 3 or 4 pages what we just read. Do you feel how much information was just in them 3-4 pages? This book has almost 1,800 pages in it. Okay? And this is one of the 1,000 books that Malachi has written. This is why they don't want y'all to know who he is. Because you wouldn't have to be on their damn platforms listening to them talk shit. You wouldn't have to be in their rooms literally quoting what the hell he said. Who y'all think introduced basic instruction before leaving Earth? I can show you. If you don't believe me, go look up Dr. York, A Wake Up Call, the book, and you're going to see it right there. Basic instruction before leaving Earth. Way before a Clubhouse or a Blog Talk Radio or a Bobby Hemmett did it. And no. I know where it came from. So it was interesting to get on the app and see people like, oh, okay, cool. So y'all know who Malachi is? Oh, yeah, we know about him. He cool. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything y'all talking about seems like somebody read his shit. So not only is he quote unquote cool, it seemed like he did enough that we ain't went nowhere past what he did. So then our people need to know who he is then, because all of y'all are fraudulent. They need to know who he is, because if this is just about information, tell them where to go get that shit from. Tell them where to go get the breakdowns. Not know you're a national and you need to change your side. No. Tell them where they can go find the planetary alignments that they're supposed to be able to look out for. And they can see the record of how every time he said something was going to happen, it literally happened on the day that he said. This is where people try to play with gematria on here and say that they can do it. They try to play the prophets. But he didn't play prophet. He didn't even want to be called no prophet. He just told you what was going to happen. It happened. Told you today to pay attention to and watch what was going to happen around that date, and it happened that way. Our people need to know this, but they won't tell you because it shuts down their illusion. They can no longer, you will no longer be looking at them like they the ones with it. That's why I'm telling people, you don't have to look at me like I'm the one with it. All right? If you want to look at me for something, look at me for maybe being the only active warrior that we have out here. Maybe look at me like that, the only one who not scared to literally go up against the beast, knowing I could possibly lose my life. Going up against the beast, not just spiritually meditating in my room by myself. No, go up against the beast head on and let the world see what I'm doing and let the world know that this is what's happening and there will be no mercy for them. Maybe I'm the only warrior out here that's doing that. Yes, but I didn't bring this information. Malachi did this. I didn't bring this awakening state that we in now. Malachi did that. Okay? So if I'm telling you that and these people aren't able to even stand next to me with the information, then what am I telling you if this person comes with thousands of times more information than I do? And if all people would do is just look into who I'm telling them to look into, you will realize I'm not promoting the man. I'm not promoting Malachi as a person to say, yo, just go hear him talk and then just be a fan. No. I'm promoting to you taking this awakened state that you find yourself in further than anybody can take you. Take yourself further. You dive into this information. You go hear the teachings and go look up everything that he's telling you to look up. because he cut out all this other extra jargon shit and activated this for us. And that's why they have a problem, though, because you're going to have to show me. I tell people, you got to show me who else did it. You can't compare him. You can't compare him to nobody else. You got to show me who else. All right, so then if he's not compared to anybody else, then why people don't want him to know who he is? And that's how you know. Those are Nakashi's children. Standing right there in front of you. They all know, though. They all know that anything they teaching, whether it's the Moorish teachings, he got 1,000 books on that. He got a whole bunch of teachers on that. We were already here. You want to talk about Mansa Musa? He got teachers on that. You want to talk about Christianity? He got teachings and books, all kind of stuff on that. Islam, teachings and books and all kind of stuff on that. What do you want to talk about? So when these people are out there and people have questions and they ask questions and they can't even answer their questions, and they get frustrated because people are asking them questions that are valid questions and they can't answer them. Every time Malachi was questioned about anything that he ever spoke about, he was able to not only speak on it, answer that question for that person, break it down for them. He was able to give them way more than they even needed, or whatever they thought they needed, so that they can go further than what he just told them. You understand that? It's a crazy reality to be looking at, though, ain't it? That is one person that did that. And then if that's the one person that did it, why nobody don't know who the fuck he is? Okay, then. Exactly. It's the same thing that happened with Jesus. When them stories, when you read Jesus going through them damn places and knocking tables over and, oh, you think you know the law? Well, this is that and this and that and speaking in parables. Yeah, they didn't like him. They didn't like him because you can't make this a house of merchandise when you got somebody like that moving on the scene. That's why I told people the reason why they wouldn't help Pops out of prison, the reason why these people ain't making noise about him being in there is because they can only be successful businessmen while he's in prison. They can only make the money that they making while he in prison. They can only get the clout that they getting while he in prison. They can only make this a mockery or some joke or some political woke shit while he in prison. If he was not locked up for 20 years, they would have been successful because he was the master teacher. He is the master teacher. So then people would have known that's the master teacher. Then guess what? They would have all had to come up under him like they were doing when he was out. And if you wasn't up under him, you wasn't saying shit. Because people would come and say, hey, what they talking about over here? And he'll break it down. And then the people who came with that question, they'll never go back over there again. The illusion is shattered. So when you're watching these pieces fall, just remember that I'm telling you, you're gonna be surprised about the faces that's gonna be revealed. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's all they faces. So you're gonna be like, damn, everybody, and I'm gonna be like, I told you, everybody. All of them? Yeah, all of them. You understand? I told them people, I said, I got an issue. For y'all to have waited 20 years and never said anything, I had to make people talk about Malachi again. I had to make them talk about the one, though, not somebody that I just am a fan of. No, I had to make them talk about the one that has something to do with all of this. I had to make niggas say his name again. Oh, no, I got a problem then. Don't expect me to be cool with none of these people. Don't expect me to be clicked up, linking up with, going to their talks, Zoom call. Don't expect me to be nowhere near the conscious community leaders at all. And if they hearing this replay or if they in this room right now, might as well unfollow me while you ahead. I don't fuck with you. Might as well pull back while you ahead. I don't fuck with you. For everybody who knew who he was and let him suffer by himself because you wanted to believe whatever the fuck you wanted to believe, which means you didn't even care about what he was bringing to the table that could have helped our children, that could have helped us. I know so many people in my communities that would have benefited from this right knowledge. All right? These people left him there. Made noise about everybody else being prisoners and all that, and left him there. I don't fuck with them. For me to show up on the scene and hear people literally teaching his shit almost down to the verbatim words, and I had to say, well, has anybody heard of Malachi yet? Yeah, we heard about him. Yeah, he, you know. What? I don't fuck with y'all. I don't fuck with y'all. The year 2022 concludes phase one's relationship with the conscious community leaders. Tell them I said that so they don't be confused when I start exposing them. So they don't be confused when they pillars start falling. So they don't be confused when I say you deny our only help and you expect me to fuck with you. You made my people lose time. And you expect me to fuck with you? I don't care about niggas not adding me into their shit. I don't want to be associated with you. Because in order for me to be associated with you, it seems like I have to act like it's some shit that it ain't. No, we are in trouble, and it's because people don't know how far we've actually come. And that will change. That will change. They said the change is here. Not that it will change. The change is here. They can do their own thing as long as they want to. I'm on their ass, though, about that one. Because how? How? They act like he died. Like it's over with. Like we lost. No, they abandoned him. And what's crazy is the nigga who was the toddler when it happened, he had to be the one to like say his name. I was a toddler when this happened. I had to be the one to grow up and say, wait a minute, hold on, pause the whole shit real quick. Hold on. Okay, so I get it. Y'all never intended on helping him. Y'all never intended on helping Malachi. Because if they did, they would have, and they could have. You don't think Brother Polite, Umar Johnson, the rest of these people platform was big enough to raise awareness about somebody being falsely imprisoned by the government that everybody says is out to get quote unquote black leaders? You don't think these people could have made noise? Every artist, Nas, Jay-Z, I don't fuck with them. Anybody who had to comment, Talib Kweli, I don't fuck with them. I grew up waiting to see what was going to happen. And I'm a man now. I'm not a child anymore. We're going to have to speed this shit up. We lost too much time. I will not let my people think that these people care about them. I will not let my people think that that's where the woke shit coming from. My people are going to know that if you want to get into all that information woke shit, go to Malachi. You want to deal with astrology? Go to Malachi. You want to deal with comedic science? Go to Malachi. You want to learn about extraterrestrials? Go to Malachi. You want to buy telekinetic? Go to Malachi. All right, so we can end all that extra bullshit that these people got going on and get to the bottom of this. Meaning the action. Because guess what? When I sit on the Malachi, they're going to find out that he wasn't just talking. He had plans laid out. And we were doing things in real time. If it ain't that, then don't bother me. If we ain't moving toward that, don't even call me. Don't ask me for shit. Don't even mention me. If we ain't finna fix this shit. That's why I keep coming for people with platforms. Because if y'all don't want to be the motherfuckers to do this shit, then probably y'all don't need the platform. If y'all don't want to be the ones to do this, you don't need the platform. That's why I'm on niggas with platforms. Everybody else ain't so much worried about you. You ain't really affecting shit on a mass level, so it's like you can bullshit all you want to. It don't matter. I'm talking about the niggas who in front of everybody. What are y'all doing? I got questions for 19 Keys. I got questions for Billy Carson. I got questions for these people. Yo, y'all got platform. Why y'all didn't make noise about the one? Why isn't right knowledge blowing up how it could? Where's our land? Where's our language? Where can my children go? You're dressed very nice. What about our children? You got over 1 million followers. What about our children? You understand? Illusion being shattered. So let that be clear. I'm not conscious community. None of them people. I don't fuck with them. Nope. That was the last straw. What I witnessed, what I stepped in and heard, that was the last straw. I'm like, bro, these folks are not ready for war. They ain't going to war for real. But we'll be sitting there doing what these people are doing for the next 30 years if it's up to them. And it's not up to them. Then to hear people talking about this murder culture, death culture shit like they actually cared about it before I did it. Running with it like they gave a fuck. They didn't give a fuck. Because every time I bring it up, they said it was just art. And that ain't it. It's the white supremacy construct that's causing all of this. And now that the conversation is being had, I notice they promoting everybody else who rapping that shit, who trying to do all this conscious street shit. They promoting everybody else. They think I'm dumb. I watch everything. I'm not stupid. I watch everything. So what, you gonna run off with the shit and make it into a gimmick to sell your shit? You gonna run off with the shit instead of promote the one and push the one who know what it's even being used for? And y'all think I'm dumb? Y'all think I can't see what's going on? I see every fucking thing. I'm paying attention to every point. Because now it's a conversation. We have to talk about it now. But these people ain't ready for war. They trying to gimmick it. Same thing with NLE Chopper. Life Wave, all of them. I said it to them. I said, yo, bro, make sure you get on your mans. This ain't no gimmick. I'm not doing conscious street music to sound smart and make this shit corny. Nigga, I'm putting science into it so that we can reach the masses that everybody keeps saying ain't gonna make it. Like they've already given. I was on one of these people live, right? And I don't even think he got a name that even I would mention. Not nobody don't damn know. Right? But he was like, yo, man, let them people kill each other. Let them kill each other. We conscious. We gonna make it. They not gonna make it. They can kill each other. I said, what the fuck? I said, okay. I said, I get it. I said, we just on two different paths. You take that path then. I'll take this path. Because what do you mean, let them just kill each other? That's opposite everything Pop stood for. That's opposite every messenger stood for. We stood for, we only as strong as our weakest links. We got to reach them. But the issue is they can't reach them because you don't know how to talk to them. You don't know what type of music they really like. You haven't studied the tones, the melodies, why those work. It takes work to do what we saying we here to do, y'all. Not just talking and sounding like we care. It takes work. And anybody who been on Clubhouse with me, you know that this shit has been every day. Anytime I get on here, I'm saying the same things, different ways, but I'm on the same principle. We can't move forward until everybody's on one accord. And if I can't talk and get people on one accord, then magic has to be done to affect the climate so that people must get on one accord. And look, y'all, you watch people at pillar by pillar falling. People started coming and sending me rooms and say, yo, hey, FaZe, you heard about such and such? And nah, I ain't heard about that. Would you tell me about it? Hey, they just said this, that, and the third. Okay, yeah, all right. Damn, FaZe, hey, FaZe, you predicted this, FaZe. You said this was going to be what... Okay, cool. Because when I was saying it to y'all, y'all played me. You played me like I was somebody trying to tell you that the Golden Gate Bridge was going to fucking fall on August 11th or some shit, like I was one of them. You played me. It's bigger. Work has to be done now. Work. And them people don't want to work. They want to talk and debate each other and sound smart. I'm like, yo, give me 5 million followers. Look what I done with 30,000. Give me 5 million. Send me viral. Convert the numbers off that video on my other page with 3-point-some million. Make that be the number count of followers so that we can crack this shit open. I'm tired of the games. I'll do the work. We need to shut this label down, that label down, that label down, that label down, that label down. This artist can't drop that song, that song, that song, that song. Music is destroying our communities. The music. Well, how can you teach our people anything when the soundtrack of their life says ignore all wisdom? What are you about to teach them? Talking about they don't want to listen. They can't hear you. The radio on. They streaming bullshit. They can't hear you. And then if you got to right up next to them, what will you say to them? You understand? And that's what we're changing. The climate itself. Then everybody got to get on one accord. There will always be light on the planet called Earth. As long as the sun continues to show itself, and as long as the sun shows itself, there will be everlasting life. For 3 days, the sun is fixed on the sundial on the same place. It then moves again in the lunar logging in the 5th and 20th points in December. This was its rebirth. The sun was reborn. It begins its annual journey in the lunar logging in the 5th and 20th point in December. And as you know, within the false religion of Christianity, you are taught that Jesus was supposedly born in the lunar logging in the 5th and 20th point in December. This is all symbolic of the sun in Christianity that was born or reborn. It's called solar biology, or simply horoscope or horoscope. Okay? When the sun comes up behind the water, it proceeds to walk across the water. And this is symbolic of God walking across the water. How many times have y'all heard people say that on Clubhouse? How many times have you heard people say that? All right. They always dress Jesus in red and blue. The red is the sun. The blue is the water. And as the appearance of the setting of the sun, God walks away. The sun goes away and comes back. Oh, you elated ones. Praise your master and shed tears of gratitude, for now is the time to shed the soul of this vicious bacteria that plagues your body, and come up in degrees of thinking. Raise in density, in degrees of patience, in degrees of purity in heart. Give freely of that which the provider has provided you. The purifier, to take the head of the beast, adorned their heads with manna, the mushroom, for the day of Saturn or Saturday. And I will bruise him on his mark, 666, O coverer of truth, who bears the mark on his forehead. I'm called in tones, Al-Muklas, destroyer of Khanas. For after I have rid you of the evils which you so freely partake from this tree of sin in this enclosed garden of delight, and once I have cast out Shaitan's children, removed his head, and summoned the knowledge of all false things that made you see other than Allahu el-Aliyu, the Most High, in this earth's domain, I will employ none less than 7 billion angelic messengers as your servants to wash you in the pure spirit of Qatar for 1,000 years. And I will lock Iblis in the bottomless pit for a short time. Then he will be free to test the faithful. And on the first gathering of the heavenly body, and our servant, named by tone Ahmad, being under the inspiration, spoke before the multitudes, come you all out of the world. What does it sound like? Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her plagues or her sins. Okay? Come you all into the world ruled by the master, for he is of the Father, and the Father is in him. Blessed are they who learn true love. Rewarded are they who share true love in the Father's name. Question I you, why has all this befallen us at this point in life's time? Bad dressed in the garb of agreeable and false as an imitation of truth, has slipped into the garden, changing it by flattery into devilishment. I'm going to read that one more time. Bad dressed in the garb of agreeable and false as an imitation of truth, has slipped into the garden, changing it by flattery into devilishment. You have amber-like beings, amber-like people who run the conscious community, which means that they are the ones who are bringing people into this consciousness. What did I tell you? The information ain't evil, okay? Teaching people things isn't evil. Teaching people things isn't the good either. Anybody can access the light. But what happens is if you haven't primed the self in the way in which you could, and you come in on the light in the root versus the heart, then guess what happens? You turn amber light as well. Now, that's why I hear grand rising and I hear amber light when I hear it now. If you think I'm just saying that, why does it seem like people are saying, when people say grand rising, they're toxic people? All them grand rising niggas be toxic. Why are they saying that? They should have never been able to say that. But the reason why they're able to say it is because it's true. Not saying everybody who says, I'm saying that there is a negative force moving with grand rising itself now. And the word that follows, grand rising king or queen. Grand rising king or grand rising queen has a negative sharp tone that has been attached to it in this world, as I tell y'all to read the realms. So when people say it to me, I'm listening for the tone behind it. All right? Even if you text it, I'm listening for the tone behind it. And it's amber. It's amber, which means that we went from good morning, which was happening in amber, to now grand rising. What you want to know, we jumped from good morning or hey or hello to, we went from hey, hello, good morning to nefer atum, nefer atum, right? Or good day, nefer dayum. Or good night, nefer ushat. Hey, nefer ushat. Right? You see the difference? We went from good morning, hello, hi to rahubat. Hey, rahubat, look. Hotep. And now you got people saying hotep is a negative thing. Do y'all see what I'm saying? But why are they saying it? Because it's true now. Because all of the people who grabbed onto the concept of what we were actually saying and flipped it, right? So now it's no longer rahubat, hotep. Rahubat is like greetings, salutations. And hotep is peace. These are real languages. The real language of the ancient Egyptians, Nuwapu. All right? We would speak that, rahubat, musar. All right? And now people are saying the hotep people are conscious and or toxic and lost. They even put it in the, what is the girl name? What's her name? The lady who got the little shit, Insecure song. The Insecure show. Issa Rae. Issa Rae put it in and said the hotep niggas, but they were illustrating for y'all not a Nuwapian. That wasn't a Nuwapian that they showed you. That was one of them Umar Johnson people. So you can see why hotep has gone amber light. Because Umar Johnson is amber light. They're amber light. Killer Mike, amber light. You can, if you learn what I'm telling you, you'll be able to look at somebody and tell whether or not they're amber light or green light. That don't mean they don't cuss. That don't mean they don't do all this. It means you can tell their frequency. Just by looking at them, you know where they vibrating from. It doesn't mean an amber light can't help you or teach you anything. You will just be cautious of where they're vibrating from. All right? And that's what I was taught young. So when I learned from seeing it for myself what the green light was, who the sons of the green light were, who El Kedar is, how to acknowledge what green light is in this world, how to identify it when I see it. Now, when I see these other people, I'm like, all these niggas amber light. All of them. Malachi York has a son, Achmos, who's amber light. And I've met him in person. He's amber light. These people are devils. By nature, there's something frequent, there's a frequency moving out of them, which means that their source is transmitting amber light frequencies. Does that mean that they can't be a part of what we're talking about? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that they're more apt to be your opposition in that regard. So they can still teach you. However, every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of these people If there's vanity associated with it, then that information is reaching you as amber light. And that means it can only travel the amber light route to get to you. And then if you internalize it, you're going to teach it how they taught it, and it's going to have the amber light association with it, and you're going to spread that light. So that's why it wasn't like this 20 years ago, y'all. The conscious community wasn't like this 20 years ago. You had a few amber light people. We knew who they were. All right? He even said it, if you go listen to him on Dr. York, Mount Zion teaching, 1992. He said, people are saying he overlooking them. He said, I'm not overlooking you. I'm right there. I'm looking right at you. Right? I see you. I'm looking right at you. You're not fooling the eye. They thought that they were fooling him, being amongst him, trying to disguise themselves as people of emerald light or green light. But we already can sense you. We see you. We know who you are by looking at you. Your information tells us who you are and what you're vibrating on. Okay? Which means that if you touch that all spark, you're gonna become corrupt. You understand? Now, they touched them all sparks, and they became corrupt. Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, they touched them all sparks, and they became corrupt. And they did corrupt things. And people couldn't see it off rip because you're looking at light or information or knowledge as the emerald frequency. That's not what it is. It's just a source. Anybody can touch it. Now, when they convert it and it transmits as who they are, if you don't know the difference between the emerald or the amber, then you would think that that was the source itself. You understand? Or that you would confuse it for the emerald light. But now they're showing you. You know what I'm saying? Calling the women bitches and hoes. Having all kind of shit going on in their life. They at war with the women. Women don't fuck with them. Trading and say, I'm not with my people, I'm with these other people. I'm fucking with the Koreans. I'm with white people. What? Where all that came from? When has Malachi ever said that? You feel me? When did Malachi ever shot at his baby mama house? I don't care, bro. I don't fuck with these people. Fuck them. They're bitches. They're hoes. Yeah. All right. Y'all should be able to see it clear now, though. And it's more that's going to reveal themselves. All it takes is for one, a situation to present itself where they can't deny who they are. They can't hide who they are or disguise who they are any longer. Remember I told you, I don't necessarily gun for people. I gun for environments. All right? If you want to see if somebody really got heart, you would have to see them in action for real. You got to see them when shit hit the fan if they got heart for real. When them niggas swarm, and that motherfucker get to screaming and running and they leave you there, he ain't really had heart. So I create environments. I alter situations, climates. I don't target the person like, oh, I'm just going to, no, I'm going to have you reveal yourself. I'm going to have you destroy you. You understand? For trying to deceive these people or destroy them. All right. So what does he say? He said, I will employ, hold on, where we at? Ahmed, okay, come you into the world. Flattery. Okay, cool. So bad, dressed in the garb of agreeable and false as an imitation of truth, has slipped into the garden, changing it by flattery into devilishment. Can we destroy him? A star is an enormous ball of gas, mostly hydrogen. Atoms are jammed close together in the center. Nuclei that create the heat of light of the star, Jinn. A star is born every 7,000 light years. A light year is equal to E equals MC squared, or energy equals matter times the speed of light from the energy change to matter. As a spaceship approaches the speed of light, which is 186,272 feet per second, objects that they approach will take on a red glow. Time will begin to slow down when they have reached 99.999% of the speed of light. They could travel to a star 37 light years away. A light year is the distance light can travel in one Earth year. That is 186,272 feet every second, and 5,874,270,3,792,000 feet every year. He became matter in the physical form, and from matter to energy, you will become spirit. You in your time equals the distance light travels in 1 year, be it solar or lunar. And depending on the mathematicians or individuals located north, south, east, or west on Earth, times multiply the speed of light. 186,272 feet per second by the amount of days in Earth's lunar or solar year. A light year is the distance light travels in 1 year. All right. The formula 186,272 feet per second times 365 days. Derive the exact time per day based on the sun, be it now 20 and 3 hours, 50 and 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Stars are born in cycles of 7. Out of black holes are the last stage in the life of every large stars, or very large stars, excuse me. They are products of a physical aging. The gravitational collapse of the star culminates in the formation of a black hole when the star's radius shrinks to less than itself. Black holes give off no light. The fate of a star depends on its mass. The more massive the star, the stronger its internal energy. The larger its gravitational attraction, and the greater its collapse. Some of the same things I be telling people about when I'm explaining them about time dilation, Einstein's time dilation, and what he was talking about as far as different worlds and different density. At the center of a black hole, the star that dies is crushed out of existence by the force of gravity. Any stray matter or energy that passes too close to its horizon will be drawn into the whirlpool, which is the black hole. There are so many stars with masses significantly larger than your sun. There are innumerable black holes in space. Thus, black holes are able to influence stars, your distance of light years away. Then, if you add the amount of days in light years, you will come up with the distance which light travels in 1 year. Digit, 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 digit. Add it if you wish. 6 trillion is the starting point. If you take this figure, you have the distance of most stars. Sunlight must be at least 10 to 5 astronomical units away, or more than 16 million kilometers away. Kilometers. 1 kilometer equal to 1,000 meters, 3,280.8 feet, or about 5/8 of a mile. The distance light travels in 1 year, be it solar or lunar, and times 7,000, then times itself by 7,000, is the exact time one star is born. The birth of a star is a contraction of interstellar gas. Its outer parts are attracted toward the center by the gravitational attraction of the atoms in the clouds as a whole. Slowly it heats up and contracts until nuclear reactions begin in the center. Energy nor matter cannot be destroyed by man nor woman, only changed in its appearance, moving from person to person, place to planet, person to person, place to place, planet to planet, galaxy to galaxy, eon to eon, and then on. Only Allahu El-Eliyu, the Most High, can destroy him. All right? So he said all that to answer. Can we destroy him? Hey, I'm telling you, bro, they can't fuck with Pops. What? Woo! Hold on, y'all. Hell no. They can't. Hey, bro, these folk can't fuck with Pops. They can't do that. They can't do that shit. They can't do that. And y'all know what I mean when I'm saying that. Cause what? You can't do that shit. Huh? Hell no, man. They can't do that shit. Ain't no way. You had to take verse by verse to break down whatever the hell type math he was just doing. They can't do that. But that was the answer. Only Allahu Aliyu, the Most High, can destroy him. We must avoid him so as to not give him more power, thereby avoiding his pull. So to break all that down simply, y'all, the star that we're talking about is the devil that you're speaking about, is a jinn, a type of being. There is a lot of them, actually. And they're basically indestructible by how much power they actually hold and possess. You understand? But there are other types of forces beyond the eon he's talking about, as far as frequency, that can destroy them. And in order to destroy them, you would have to cause for them to disperse at such a rate of speed that they can't regather themselves. You understand? Meaning they wouldn't be able to pull themselves back together. Regeneration. And that speed is beyond what people know about, beyond the speed of light. So whoever the Allahu al-Aliyu are, they can destroy them, you know what I'm saying? However, those are not the ones who are doing what they're doing, you know, in real time. The Rishkians, Anunnaki, they're not the Allahu al-Aliyu. Okay? Which is a whole different conversation. So the seed of flattery is planted deep into earth. The earth having many flowers of many colors, so beautiful to the wary eye, so prosperous to the disagreeable, so acceptable to the needing woman and man. They seek to crucify me. Please forgive them. Be ever so willing to die for my sake, for I have died a many times for your sakes. And I will give you the cup of eternal life, for even at this moment your name has been re-entered into the tablet of eternal life. Do y'all hear? Those of you who can y'all hear? Right? No mortal can do this thing by blood or by wealth, for only at death are the real earnings obtained. Mold yourself well in right knowledge. While your soul is like a full cup running over, clothe yourself in the best of garments. Make the sun your crown of gold, and put Sheshki, the moon, under her feet, that no more unclean or impure spirits may enter her. For the highest and best life is still yet to come, yet is with me on the right of my and your father. To love your father is what I bring to you. To love your sister and brother as yourself in all means is your key to eternal life. For he, the ever so compassionate and sharing, created you virtuous and in pure happiness with no needs nor desires. And there was nothing for you to seek after. Ponder on this thought. Quarks need not to learn to swim. The Holy Tabernacle is a pool of learning, still waves of undistressed. And the breeze against the leaves created the Anunnaki music. Music is of two sounds, and an assimilation come to the real matter by putting one's behavior in harmony with Allahu al-Alihu, the Most High. This format... Music is of two sounds, and an assimilation comes to the real matter by putting one's behavior in harmony with Allahu al-Alihu, the Most High. This format of lift is created in the harmonic grid with tones of vibration. Real quick, if y'all watched the Doctor Strange movie, Multiverse of Madness, there was a scene where, right, the two persons who were different versions of Doctor Strange were fighting, and they were literally using music to fight. If you go and look up that scene, Doctor Strange music fight. I'm sure you'll find it on YouTube somewhere. But they literally were using musical notes to fight each other. And while I was watching Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I would tell y'all to watch that, okay? Go to soap2day.to. That's just a hypothetical that I always got to throw out there. Soap2day, the number 2, day.to, okay? And you'll be able to watch it, hypothetically. And you watch that whole movie, it's everything I've been saying. It's everything I've been teaching about, from the dream world, the astral world, music, war, different dimensions, everything that I've been breaking down, how I've been breaking it down. And I just wanted to point that out, though. But yeah, I think it's interesting that they put that in there, a music fight, a fight with music. But that's not the only time music has been illustrated as a weapon in a movie that has something to do with what I was talking about or tied into me. There was a movie, I think it was called Rock Dog. And the main character's name was Bodie, right? And that's my father's last name. My father's name is Fred Bodie. The name of the character was named Bodie. And he had a musical weapon, was an instrument. I think it was a ukulele or acoustic guitar, one of them, some type of musical instrument that he was able to use as a weapon to protect the sheep from the wolves. And he went up on top of the mountain and played that song. And that song, it protected the sheep, sent the wolves flying in all these other different directions away from them. He used music. I said, that's Revelation 14. The new song that was being able to be sung, you know what I'm saying, and only 144,000 could learn, meaning only the people who was on that type of frequency could able to understand what that meant. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to point that out. 1, 3, 5. Lahut, Melekut, Nasut. Now, I hear Pops when he write, you know what I'm saying? I know how he be saying certain shit. He said, they seek to crucify me, please forgive them. They sentenced Malachi York to 135 years. Right? And right here, he says, 1, 3, 5. Lahut, Melekut, Nasut, the 3 realms on Om, or Om. A sound you all make when seeing a thought. You say, Harmony is seeing the heavenly host around the 4 and 20 in number, controlling the fowl of the air and the beasts of the field, man and cow. Harmony is even coming forth from the throne. Agreeable works, agreeable deeds, agreeable people. And what will make you know the meanings of these words? Come ye lost, but now found in the west unto me, for I am your light in these last days of ignorance. Come ye, lost, but now found in the west unto me, for I am your light in these last days of ignorance. Come, ye, lost, but now found in the west unto me, for I am your light in these last days of ignorance. I am your comforter in these last days of discomfort, your assurer. For those who are torn by doubt, behold, I am. Behold me, I am. For I have come to you from afar with a pure soul, agreeable in truth, and as a servant of Anu, who I called for you, Allah. Awake and walk beside me. Behold, my hand stretched forth unto you, and my heart is there in it. I place my trust and my heart in your care. You were love, my love, and now my heart is broken for your children yet unborn. Oh, lost like salt, lost you your savor many a years ago. I weep more tears than all your seas. I pleaded for your salvation, and the ever forgiving granted me a short time to be with you. I pleaded for your salvation, and the ever forgiving granted me but a short time to be with you. Oh, you, couldn't you but know me? Merely look up with the energy I and behold my rainbow encircling your dwelling. You have showed me the face of hate for my love, the sword clothed in my blood for your freedom. Sweet vision, look down on them, that my voice may dwell in them, and that they too may partake of the love in you without doubt. Even in hell have you called them. Seeing the spell, I will break it. And despite the cross, I will uncrucify them so that they may resurrect from the dead. And all eyes will behold your glory. Many times over for them will I break it, the wicked spell. This is the vision come to me while in the flesh on Anu, the Most High's day, and Anu's hour, and in the midst of the enemy. Come you to the arms of my love, that I may teach you of these things forgotten by the time. The compassionate, ever-loving, all-merciful provider, help these weary bones, that I may shine forth and raise a new light of submission in them. This is spoken by Amanubi Ruakta. All right. Tablet 3, the mission. Lo, Anu Elion El, the most highest of the high ones, who is the breath in my body, the blood in my veins, the light in my day. Please help me love those who do not understand me and hate me, not knowing that you sent me to them with the Nuwapu, right knowledge. O Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High, could I have been sent to lead the ants, since 4/5 of all living creatures are insects? I think they could have understood better than these vainglorious human beings. O Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High, my ruler, forgive me for this question. It is the cry of this half-human nature you gave me in your work. And oh, my beloved grandfather Anu, do I have your permission to cry for those who do not love you? The hurt, the pain they are doomed to receive for their transgressions, for they cannot see nor hear you. And I know, O my Father, that you gave them senses with which to praise you. O ruler, who has the power to extract the salt from our tears and the savor from the salt, divide also the disagreeable from agreeable in our hearts. Part again the Reed Sea, called the Red Sea, by those who need to rethink. Part again agreeableness and disagreeableness in the earth, and let us walk your path, the path of those before us. Oh, my Father, I see the path, and I want to teach them to walk on it for the love of you and not because of fear. Help me. Help me. O seal of El Nabiuna, prophets, the Anbiya, news bearers, Muhammad, the comforter, I see you have glorified Yeshua's name, Rahulah. All right. He has sent you to them, but they do not have faith. And I still love them so very much. Sheikh Kadir, thank you for your time. And again, green is our destiny in earth, for it is as refreshing as the birth of grass, the growth of trees and flowers, the sound of birds, and the signs of summer. You put the illustrious truth into my humble heart. And now I even desire to help the cursed people, for they too need my help. I'm going to read that again. And now I even desire to help the cursed people, for they too need my help. You understand that? Nobody left behind. Nobody not considered. Nobody said, oh, they're not going to make it. No, there's still a desire to help all of these people. Okay? Cleanse them, not of their cursed disease, but of the sins of their hands and feet, which keep them pointing and walking as if to say, I cannot see Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High. But they do. Please take their hands off the faces of my foolish brothers and sisters, daughters and sons. Let them see, please. Let me blink for the whole world, and when my eyes are open again, let me see Nusku, that's Gabriel, who bore the title Jibrail, Gabriel, and his host before you. For you and only you are the provider of all things that we see and cannot see, plus what we miss and try to miss. And I speak to all the world. I am here for you, and I am the lamp which will light your way to Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High. Look this way. Look this way. I am here. Love Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High. I am here to teach love. Love of Aliyu, Allahu El Aliyu, the Most High. O Anu, the Most High, forgive us all. Tablet 4, the wanderers. Lo, while in this planet I stretch forth my hands to all flesh, importing on you the comforting spirit, the self-same spirit that lights all that live, passing from one world to the next, and even many others. Continents float, yet pebbles sink. None knows save Anu, the Most High, the Strengthener, our Father, who are in the skies, O holy Anu, the Most High, eternal and alone, all-seeing. Trust you me, worship him as though you see him. Truly at all times he sees you. Put the captive bone of your right hand on your nose, all fingers pointing upward, and try and describe your hand without memorizing it. It is too close to see. That's what happens with the world. You are too close to see its evils. Be one fungus under a rock in the middle of the deepest ocean. He sees you through the eyes of all plant life. The world, never silent, totally balanced by his command. Yam, sea life, or Yam, known as the god of the sea. The reptilians, the serpents, or snakes, those beings that whisper, not hiss, the creatures that whisper into the hearts of human beings. Those of you will never see. Though you crowd the earth, killing, stealing, lying, and destroying in attempts to put out that very light, shining in the ignorance, your temple, because you overstand it not. The light was in man, and the man comprehended of night, or the darkness, and the darkness comprehended of not. All right? Or perceive you not my birds take flight with grace, and my bees alighting down lightly on leaves, lest its weight. The bee, fearfully and wonderfully made, fearfully because of 5 eyes, the 3 simple in a triangle on his head, 2 compounds on the side of 1,000 single eyes. No pupils, so he cannot focus. Red flowers see he not, only blue, yellow, ultraviolet, the rays of the sun. The man fears the stinger. Poisonous is it, his only means of self-defense. 20 and 2 muscles control it. Even when it has been pulled out of the bee's body, dies he at its lost. But the queen survives it. 5,000 nostrils has it. Its wings vibrate 11,400 times per minute. By the time it has gathered 1 pound of honey, it has traveled a distance of 50,000 miles, the circumference of the earth, 24,896 miles, 49,792. Remarkable. The bee is deaf. Natural communications who share their knowledge work all things. Alerted to danger, workers stand guard over their hive against invaders. They sacrifice their lives for the safety of the community, both the bee and the faithful. In flight, they travel forward, backward, sideways, and hover. 10,000 kinds in the species, communal and solitary. The solitary bee is alone, trying to make it by himself, not as devoted, not as faithful. It baffles man as to how the bee knows what to do and when to do it. Wonderfully, because it makes honey and beeswax, a long tongue designed to suck up nectar into its honey stomach, not too much bigger than the head of a needle. She would have to make 60 trips to collect 1 thimbleful. Many visits, 1,000 to hard workers. Stop and reflect on the industry of the bee the next time you eat the mystical honey. The pollen she collects and molds into a solid mass for transport on the back of one of her legs at such an incredible speed that it is impossible to detect each movement. The honeycomb is a mass of hexagonal 6-sided cells for the storage of honey and eggs. It is made of beeswax, a type of wax produced by special glands in the worker bee's abdomen. All right. It oozes out through the pores onto her abdomen, where she collects it, and after chewing it, turns into beeswax. It is produced only when needed. The hexagons are geometrically perfect, representing a 6-pointed star. Honey is an overlooked miraculous food created by Allahu al-Aliyu, the Most High, for mortals. A portal medicine a popular medicine and the principal part of ointments and plasters. An antibacterial, fermenting at 60 degrees and absorbs moisture when stored at 60% relative humidity. Composed of highly concentrated H2O solution of two sugars. 1. Dextrose. C6H12O6H2O. 2. Levulose. C6H12. A carbohydrate, high energy source. Other sugars are 12 in number. Isomaltose, furanose, maltulose, nigerose, cogibiose, leocrose, melexitose, arylose, kestose, raffinose, and dextranthiose. I'm sure I fucked up at least 10 of them. 11 minerals: potassium, chlorine, sulfur, calcium, sodium, phosphorus, magnesium, silica, iron, manganese, and copper. It is said of our servant Ahmed, when he reached the seventh heaven and met our servant Yeshua, he was offered a cup filled with honey. Paradise has rivers flowing with honey. There are signs in this for those who have an ear to hear and eyes to see. The honey cures the body naturally of its ailments. Nuwapu cures the soul of falsehoods and confusion. Anu, the Most High, created the society of the honeybee and established the intricate laws by which it is governed, the holy tabernacle. The life of the honeybee is the life of the people, adaptable to all extremes of climate, and are fed and made secure through hardship and tribulation. The hexagon and thus the six-pointed star are symbolic of Anu's protection. I seek refuge in Allah from the cursed shaitan. That's A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. The life of a bee represents a life of discipline. The individual honeybee is important only when it is a part of a colony or community. So it is with the faithful, they are no importance as an individual, but as we collectively. That's why we hold firmly to the rope of Allah. The Quran says so. Hold fast to the rope of Allah. The Most High, together as one. The beehive's dome is the same structure as the crown's dome. It's another sign. The structure of the holy tabernacle community called in tones Ansaru Allah. The colony of bees consists of one leader bee and thousands of worker bees. The holy tabernacle is symbolic of this great community. In that society, she is the most powerful and makes all decisions. Our leader and teacher, known to us as Sayyid Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi. It is the example, and as a person in whom the qualities of advancement of the true way of life and the strengthening of all children of the Elohim in the community are essential as one. The workers are builders. And your sustainer, Elohim, who is Rab, has inspired, sent Wahi unto the Nile bee, that they are to put homes or hives into the mountains and into the trees and in the places man constructs. And our servant Ahmed received in the Holy Quran the sacred reading, 16th degree. So they were caused to work in ways of your love humbly. There goes out from its innermost parts, bellies, a drink that is different. Its color in it is a healing cure for the people who use it. Surely in that is verily a sign for a nation of people who think. The many colors are dark brown, light brown, yellow, clear, and many others. The yellow is that of saffron, the dry orange stigmas of the plant used for cooking and dyeing. Crocus or satius. It is said of our servant Ahmed, saying, there is a remedy in three things: the incision of a cupping glass, a drink of honey, or cauterization by fire, but I forbid people to cauterize. It is also said of our noble servant Ahmed that at the feast of his wedding with Saphir, the main dishes included honey, dates, and cream. On the occasion when he received the injunction for worship, he was given vessels from which to choose of wine, milk, and honey. He took and drank of the milk, and Nusku, who bore the title Gabriel, said to him, "Milk is Deen. You and your people will be of it." Once the time comes for a man to live a real peaceful way of life, the sweetness of honey suddenly becomes hard to live. The bitterness of truth is living to see all that was prophesied come to pass. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Once a rose asked me, she said, "Master, about my thorns." Our father knew this, being man. Tell me, man who in his selfishness rips me from your pure earth, raping me of my home in the name of expressing his synthetic affections. My beauty, which he, Allahu, El-Lil, the Most High, the Glorious, the Seer, the Bestower, has thrown upon me, the same gave me the thorn to protect my beauty from all to see his gifts, I being a symbol of resurrection. Oh, how I envy the dandelion. Yet she, believing in face value beauty, envies me. For in his gifts, the halftime of the sun, each time I blossom again. In time with the moon and the stars cycle as they wax around your heavens, remember the beauty of my sister Sarah, the rose, and the duration of my sister Hagar, the dandelion, also known as the Egyptian deity Hathor. The rose, with a crackle of sadness in her voice, she said, "Master, I ask you, send to me a helping protector, for the parents of beauty is ultimate deception. Why? They outwit me, cut me down by modern means," she sighed, as the wind blew and cried. I turned deep into my own spiritual heart. Time passed, and with a tear glittering like the sun in my right eye, I comforted her with thoughts of peace in the enclosed garden of delight, the gardens of paradise. I apologize in every way I know for human beings from Adam to Ahmed for tearing down the surrounding gates of the first garden of earth, Eden. Yet could I make no excuse for him that fell from grace, ever so beautiful in the heavens, and yet so ugly in his heart. The goddess of fowl, the peacock, entered by disguise into our garden. My thoughts walking on in the cool of the sunlit day, I stood upon a lofty hill, admiring the scenes. The wind was still, the grass was evergreen. I closed my eyes. Silence of the day turned to shadow hour. I beseech you after Maghrib prayer, O Master of Masters, Creator of all created things, how can I? For it seems he takes pleasure in turning light into fire, water into toxic beverages, stones into weapons of destruction, wisdom into lies, elements into molecules, destroyers and atom splitters. Protector, air into poison, fruit seedless, our animals into his pets, love into lust, necessity into greed, people into devils, angelic beings into jinn, the learned into fools, and religion into actors parading in the garb of righteousness. Even I, oftentimes confused and beguiled by the tricks and deceit of that which lurks in their chest, desire to help them with all that you have given me, many a time more than they count. If each being added a million years to his life, even so now I cry more tears than all the waters of all the seas together. I vex more than all the wars of all the worlds of myself, for I know. I suffer more than all the disease that plague life, for I feel. I hurt more than all the broken hearts of the deceived in all the worlds. I ached. Yet still again and again I love them even more and will carry out truth in your name. To see but one face shining in truth is fusion of helium and hydrogen. Birth of a new sun in my life. Their young ones, oh how they know so well. And I, in all my efforts, will see to it that they be joined with you again. O Anu, the Most High, add more time to the second in the minute, and the minute in the hour, and the hour in the day in the week, and the week in the month, in the year, in the decade, in the decade, in the century, in the century, in the eons, for their sakes. That's what he said in the song. If you never heard it before, Only a Dream. Malachi had a song, Only a Dream, where he said, hold back the clock. All right? Go listen to that song whenever you get a chance. It might seem like you're talking about one thing, but that's one of the ways I learned how to do this, by the way. You put the sciences in the music. Okay? He said, he said, hold back the clock. Don't let us stop. Right? He was asking for more time. He's been asking for more time because he knows that we don't see the time. And I see it now. I see what he saw. I was a baby when he saw it. I wasn't born when he saw it. My parents weren't born when he saw it. He was doing this before my parents was born. And he was doing this before I was born. And now I'm a grown man and I see what he was saying. And they still doing what he's saying they was doing, which is ignoring the time. So he knows his people are ignoring the time. So what does he ask for? More time. So that there could be something activated in what he just said. The young ones know. The young ones coming, they know so well. He's going to make sure that we return back. Okay? So he said every time we would listen to his teachings, the children of the star seed, all right, or the children, the indigo children, every time we would listen to his teachings, there would be activations that would be happening in us. And every time we would have his books in front of us and we would read them, there would be activations that would be happening in us. And what's so unfortunate is that I'm looking out and I'm like, man, it's clear who was exposed to it and who wasn't. And I wish my generation was exposed to this. So, we would be working together versus phase one having to do what I'm doing. A lot of us would have been able to see this and we would have been, ahead of time. So it doesn't mean we lost. It just means that, we lost time. So we have to speed up. Okay. But that's what he said in the song. Hold back the clock. Don't let go. He said, and don't let go. Just hold on. Right. He was keep it nice and slow. He was asking for them to do it, and what that hold on is hold on to the rope, hold fast, because this world has been set up as a deception. And he said, I know how good it feels. He said, I still think it's real, but it's only a dream. All of this is a facade that they built this world. And we need to break past it and shatter the illusion. So he said it for their sake, hold back this clock. I seek your grace, that I may make them see your splendor, O yielder, O merciful. Why? Is it that the real Quran was hated? Why is it that the real Quran was hated by them from one cover to the first to the other, the last? They even made a false Quran to fool the fools. Is life truly made clear? Why must they have it their own way? A holy seal of all the prophets of the seed of Adam, did you know this small thing would be? Over it are 19. All right. Now, if you don't know where over it is 19 came from, that came from straight out of the Quran. Okay. That's in the hidden secret chapter, the hidden secret. All right. You go and read the 74th surah, ayat 30, I think it was. Over it is 19 was 70, chapter 74 verse 30 of the Quran says that. That's where he's reciting that from. Over it is 19. Only time you'll see 19 in the Quran. And it's saying that the code 19 was something to cover and cloak these things, to protect the messages from the evil ones. But they went over and also to teach the signs. But they would have made a false Quran and started giving false teachings without the signs in it. And that's what they also said, that they said that people were going to ignore the signs and that the beast will rise up. In the original Quran, the recitation before the corruption. Your sprout, Ali, he knew his sprout, the Mahdi, 19th. He knew Mother Earth, when flesh returns to you, it is too late to beseech forgiveness. Quicksand, our carpet over hell. For only the man not of the jungle, and therefore there to do it and harm therein. Even so, this moment, I'm going to read that again so that it doesn't get missed. Your sprout, Ali, he knew his sprout, the Mahdi. All right. The 19th, he knew. The Mother Earth, when flesh returns to you, it is too late to beseech forgiveness. Quicksand, our carpet over hell, for only the man not of the jungle, and therefore there do it harm therein. Even so, this moment must they start to live in truth. All right. Now imagine reading this as a child or this being read to you as a child. Okay. And even if you didn't fully understand the wording, listen to the intention behind it. Okay. Not condemning and just saying, oh, you know, if you don't believe in this, no, it's saying, listen, stand on the truth, regardless of what people are saying. Stand on the truth. There's a deceptive world here. And once you cross that threshold, like I said earlier, there is no trying to act like, oh, I was going to get it together. I was going to bow my head. I was going to pay homage or reverence to that which I don't know, right? You don't have the humility to do so. So you walk around arrogantly. Guess what? When you have to face truth anyway one day. Okay, that's what he's saying. And if it's too much for people to bear, then, you know, you will choose to do the other thing, which is to walk and say that you are God alone and ignore the fact that they said you're the children of the Most High. For anybody who keeps saying, I am God, make sure you go and read Psalms 82 all together. Don't just read Psalms 82, one half of Psalms 82, verse 6. Read Psalms 82 and watch them explain to you that there was a darkness that fell over this world that caused people to be in vanity, operate in vanity, caused corruption to fall upon this world. And a reminder had to be sent out that all of your guys, when you are children of the Most High, all right, there's someone, people, and things higher than you that you have to adhere to in order to even reach that level of understanding. But if all you want to adhere to is that of the jungle or the way of man or the beast, which is why this chapter is called that, then you fall to their judgment because they have to go through another type of cleansing called the second death before they can ever evolve again. You don't have to go through that. Meaning you don't have to do summer school. You know what I'm saying? You can get it all together now. You don't have to go to summer school or you don't have to be kept back. That's all we've been trying to say to you. And even as I'm here, it's like, I know what they're saying. We don't have to. I told him, I said, just don't leave me here. Meaning, look, if y'all see me here too long and I become them, pull the plug. Don't leave me here. You know what I'm saying? If I begin to become Agent Smith, if there's ever a chance of that happening, take me out of here. You understand? Don't leave me here. Because I know that whatever would have caused that to happen, whatever possibility would have caused me to fall, would have been an illusion that I didn't see. I say that all the time. So why do I say that? Because I don't see every damn thing. Meaning, I don't know everything that's going to happen. I don't know everything that's going to come. I've been deceived myself before. They come in different forms. You understand? They'll be right there around you, near you, in your house with you, in your school with you, at your job with you. Devils in all forms, deceivers, pleasures of this world. All of these things have come to me like had they come to everybody else. And I say I refuse to fall to either one of them. Regardless of what I've partaken in, I refuse to lose my soul to anything of this world. It's not worth it. So I literally told the elders that if I ever cross over a threshold that's too, you know what I'm saying, deep for me to return back to the light, snatch me before, you know what I'm saying, it's too late. Snatch me out of here. And not of my will do it. Do it because y'all can see what I can't see. That's humility. And guess what? That means that with you learning to even announce that or confirm or affirm that, you start opening your brain up, your mind up to be able to see that which they see. You open your brain up to that. So you're less apt to be deceived. That's what it means to be a Mason. Admitting that you don't know first so that you might know. Asking so that the answer shall be revealed unto you. Seeking so that you can find. Knocking so that the door can be opened to you. But if you walking past the door talking about you know what's happening behind the walls, all the Masons do is laugh and let you think what you want to think. You can think they devil worshipers. You can think these people worship Lucifer. You can think these people run all the governments. You can think whatever you want to think about them. While they keep teaching the sciences that your ancestors taught so that you might know things, see things, be led to the light. And they won't let you through there unless you're humble enough to learn. Now, you don't have to become a Mason to learn these things. I'm just saying to you that the humility aspect has to be there first so that you can have the pride that wouldn't be vanity. Okay? But you take pride in your faith. You take pride in the fact. You take pride in that which you see. Not pride in vain and say, I know I created all of this, and you don't know. You just got here. You know what I'm saying? Like you just showed up talking about you did all of this. Nah. I don't know whether or not I created all of this. I know that I'm here to observe it. You feel me? So yes, I'm a guy in that regard. I'm fashioned after everything that came from all of these things that I know exist, whether I know how they began. I don't know if it ever had a beginning. I don't know if there's a source. Because in order for you to tell me that there's a source, right, then you're telling me that, that would be something that yielded all of this stuff and created all. I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I know that I can observe the existence as Allah. I can observe the existence itself as God. I can observe that. And I can see that there are different frequencies operating within that existence. You understand? This is the higher knowledge. It stops you from being blind. Instead of saying, I'm going to the fourth dimension and I'm going into a spirit world, right? Realizing that you're talking about a different observation point, it raises your awareness. So then you don't spiritualize a dimension. You know that it's also a physical dimension. It's just operating in a different frequency. Just because the bee can't see the red flower, as he was telling you, as I spoke before, the bees can't see that red frequency doesn't mean that red frequency doesn't exist. It just means they can't see it, okay? Which means that they aren't able to detect that bee can pick up on that frequency, okay? It's not being recorded that way. We can't see ultraviolet. We can't see beyond violet. It doesn't mean that there's nothing there to see. So you might find that when you get beyond violet, it starts over at red, okay? And it's still a physical world, but you just can't see it right now. So it's only confusing for people who are trying to do it mathematically or spiritually, right? Versus looking at what you can know and what you can see, admitting that you don't know the other part of it, and moving on from there with your questions and getting them answered because you had the ability or the humility, rather, to ask them. Okay? So, where we at? Got you. So even so, this moment must they start to live in truth. Give them one dot as given me, it will suffice. From a dot to a diagonal line, the line downward forms a wall. The wall forms then a cube, the Kaaba, the navel of this earth. All Muslims world over try and move in any other direction. All lives move as the Kaaba, the navel of the planet Earth, now in the hands of the evil. O sweet sword, double-edged, ever so sharp, cut lies, then our nature may heal wounds with the water of Qatar, for the once fooled. Find them wherever they may hide in this one garden. Confront them with their own selves. Show your light unto them pure, crystal that they may be known, and deceive not men. There are some that say they have faith and think they are in peace by that alone, yet with heavy hearts tied a sixth knot thrice, increasing by their deceased, calling through prayer in the name of Anu, who is also called Allah to themselves. It never leaving this atmosphere, not heard in the heavens, but their iniquities have come up before us, calling you even more. You know yourselves better than I. What you claim besides Anu, the Most High, will be your hell. And if you claim in the name of Anu, the Most High, dropping all other things, it will be your salvation once you pass. He, Iblis, has turned rough road smooth for the travelers seeking a shortcut. Did you hear him? He, Iblis, has turned rough road smooth for the traveler seeking the shortcut. What is that? The path of least resistance. Okay? Standing at the end as a pot of gold, eager to help Anu, the Most High's words from flowing even now through my spirit, I am nothing but a prayer. I want nothing but to worship for many shadow hours, 1,000 to 1, 1 to 1,000, none better than one shadow hour of power in our world. But in their time, overstand the little verse they don't. By for a surety they are losing, seeing they not the abundance that has been bestowed upon them. By the web of that one spider weaving that shelter cave, I seek protection with you from the acts that live in their minds. Leave their bodies painted in red, burnt black faces, leopard hearts, yet with room to slander and hate me, none of them knowing of what they have become and who they help. Say that once more. Yet with room to slander and hate me, none of them knowing of what they have become and who they help. I can't worship enough. I can't ask your forgiveness enough for my wrongs. O Anu, the Most High, you alone have sent me more miles than they can count in all their times, just to be with them, to bread and sip of the wine unfermented, and I am willing to go yet still further, for you have prepared after my anointed, after my incarnation into flesh, a table before me, before the eyes of our enemy. Going on, I'm never seeking the purifiable ones. I'm ever seeking. Going on, I'm ever seeking the purifiable ones. Other worlds, their eyes never see, knowing nothing of. I cohabited as a visitor to maintain my sanity with the whale that carried our servant Jonah and all the fish. We ate together, we laughed together, and we spoke concerning the first deluge, and our servant and his family spared. O Utnapishtim, who is also called Noah, remember when the fish asked Allah, the Most High, that you being perfect in your generation be spared. Man never pondering on why the fish did not perish in the flood. And they showed me the boundless colors of the kingdom of the seas. Melchizedek is the angel of righteousness, the first high priest. The order of Zodok, also Zodok, an order initiated by Elion El, the most high, power, maker, possessor, and sustainer of the heavens and earth. The first Zodokite to establish the order on earth for the pious age of humankind, for Cain failed this test, to walk with the Elohim as an upright being. Okay, Tamim, upright, perfect. This Melchizedek was born in physical form as a divine manifestation, which was recorded in the scroll of Adapha, called also Idris and Enoch, before the flood of Utnapishtim, also called Noah. Melchizedek was returned by craft back up into paradise, which resides into Shehakim, the third heaven. After the flood, he descended back to earth to build the great Jerusalem, a city of peace, and to bless and teach Abram, the Syrian born in Ur of Chaldea, a great prophet, to first cross over, and he was called a Hebrew. Abraham, as Abraham was given the promise from Elion El, the Most High power, that through him would come the promised seed down to Tammuz, called Yehoshua or Yahawashai, who himself was after the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. Okay? So peace to that. Let's see what we got. Where's my 465? We will come back soon and we will pick up where we left off, and we will begin to read of the birth of Melchizedek. Okay? And we're going to go into those sacred sciences that he revealed. He's going to talk about Methuselah. He's going to talk about a lot of different people who came through. And it's still on the chapter 6, which is the human beast. Okay? I love y'all. Before I get up out of here, the donation that you see, the Play for Change cash out that you see up here, for those of you who are in here, or if you come in and listen to the replay, do consider sending a donation and put children's movie, or put if you want to send one and receive some product or receive some information or knowledge in the form of books that I've written, send a donation of any amount and put your email there. Okay? But one of the two, put it for the children's movie so I can send it directly to the GoFundMe, because we've reached $600 in the children's movies funds. They're still there. We've reached that successfully. And the goal for that is $20,000, because what I want to do is take everything that I've learned from the Holy Tablets, from my travels, from what I know it to mean to be conscious and my particular walk, and express it in a movie appropriate for children. Of course, it'll be appropriate for all ages. I know how to do the movie. I know the format. I know the style of animation that I'm going to use, and it won't take long to complete the movie. The movie will be done next year. I want it to be that by April we would have raised $20,000. So that's my goal. By April of 2023, we would have reached $20,000, and with that 20,000, I'll be able to go to certain people who I know, who've already reached out to me, say, I can do a voiceover, or I can do this, that, and the third, or I do music, or I score, or I want to be able to go to them and help them make this project. Help me make this project, pay them for their service, pull other people in, and let the community benefit from this as far as whatever opportunities people can get from it if I pull them in. And also our children will have a movie finally that is for us, dealing with our consciousness and what we have to do. And, being from somebody who's experienced all of this, Tom Ray, everything play out. So if you would consider that, as you see, I'm not in a rush for me to have set a deadline to April. I'm in no rush. So, whatever you want to send to that, put children's movies so I know to send it there. Or if you want the products or the books, just put your email and I will send you those books as well. You know what I'm saying? Or I will send you those books so I will know that those were for the actual books and not for the donation for the children's movie. But either one, if you already have the books, then go ahead and send, because there's the most updated book is How to Speak Elite. The book that's coming is How to Love Again. There's a book that's coming called How to Love Again. So be on the lookout for that. I'm excited about that book. It'll be here within the next 2 weeks. Okay. So it's up to How to Speak Elite. So if you already have books from Why to How to Speak Elite, if you already have the 7 books that I've written, then yeah, go ahead and send a donation for the children's movie. Put children's movie, and what I'll do is I'll upload it to the GoFundMe myself. So y'all can go and track track the progress yourself, and you'll see. I think we had $607 now. To be exact, I think it's 607. So we on our way to our first 1,000, meaning it'll be 19 left. So we don't have to reach 20,000 anymore. We only have to reach, about 19,000, 400 or 19,393, I think it is. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I could be off. But that's what it is, y'all. So I love y'all. I appreciate you. Do that for me, and we'll be back, and we'll pick up on the birth of Malachi Zadok. Now, I didn't start in order. As you see, I started in chapter 6, the human beast, but we are going to read the Holy Tablets. And you won't be able to say, if you walk with me, that you never read the Holy Tablets or had it read to you or heard the Holy Tablets. We're going to read the Holy Tablets, okay? And we're going to go chapter by chapter, piece by piece, even if it's not in order. We're going to read the Holy Tablets, and we're going to have a better understanding of what's happening. We're going to get a lot of information. We're going to be doing fundraisers, whatever it is we got to do, and we're going to keep this moving. All right. Follow the TikTok. I put it on my page today. Follow my TikTok. We went from no followers. I started this TikTok this year sometime. It had no followers. It had no traction. And one of the posts, I think I did the music industry on trial, sent it up, and then more people started coming. And what's happening is I don't even have to do comedy to get people attention over there. They really want the real shit over there. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be posting more of the real shit, real lyrics, talking about what's really going on, breaking shit down, breakdowns. They want more of that over there. So we're almost at 8,000 followers on TikTok. That's grand. So I appreciate y'all for supporting me. I appreciate y'all who've been walking with me, and appreciate people who did follow that. We went big, and we went big fast. On Spotify, we went from 57 listeners last month to now 800 and, was it 826? Omi? I think she said 826. 826 listeners now, okay, monthly. So that's major. You feel what I'm saying? Because there are, what people understand, you probably noticed already, there are funds that are being accumulated because you listen to my music. So it's not just you sending money to me in a donation. You can stream my music, and you're contributing to funds. And the more people do that, what y'all going to find is going to happen is I won't even have to do fundraisers soon. All right? We're going to be realizing how people like Russ have been able to do that. There's a budget that comes just because somebody press play that can be associated with what I'm doing. So I won't have to do fundraisers to put out a movie. I won't have to do fundraisers, you know what I'm saying, to go to the studio. That will be every quarter I will be receiving a check from Distro that will allow for me to do these things. And that's what I want to happen anyway, because I don't want to keep having to ask people, you know what I'm saying, to do these things, because I want y'all to just be able to, you know what I'm saying, keep walking. And you feel me? Even though I appreciate that y'all help me, I want it to be that one day y'all are going to be able to see that, okay, that I can do this, and all you really have to do is just continue to support the frequency. And that's going to be even, you know what I'm saying, that's going to be on a whole different level. So I'm looking forward to that. So we got almost 8,000 followers on TikTok. That's big. I appreciate that. Almost 900, which we can go ahead and say almost 1,000 listeners on Spotify. That's major. Okay. Thus far, I've made $1,500 on Spotify. That's major. I appreciate that. Uh, the backup page that I created that only had like 100 followers in around like August, September, only had 100 followers. Now it has 4,000. We reached 4,000. So that's big. And that came from one post. That came from me posting one video, and that one video has 3.8 million views now. So we almost at 4 million views on that video. Every day that video goes viral. Every day that video gets another 100,000 views, 200,000 views. It depends. Okay. So since that video was posted almost 2 months ago, that video's almost got 4 million views, and it just keeps doing numbers. It just keeps doing numbers. That's the one video that I posted, and I posted that video on accident. I didn't mean to post it there, right? I mean, I meant to post it there, but it was because I couldn't post it on my original page because it was something wrong with my page. Like it wouldn't work. So I went to the backup page. It only had like 100 followers, and I posted that video, and within seconds, it was getting thousands of views. And now it's at almost 4 million views. Okay. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm telling y'all to pay attention. Like it's still moving. So we at almost 4 million views, and we at almost 4,000 followers, and we almost at 400,000 likes on that video. So that video is doing what it's doing. It's causing people to see me who don't even know who I am yet, and they're seeing it in such a light of the comedy that they're being drawn in. Now imagine if all of those people would have hit follow when they saw that video. That's what I'm telling you. I don't doubt that this is going to happen. I don't doubt that the explosion for the world to know who I am is going to happen. I don't doubt it at all because I submit and surrender to the will of the divine, and the divine is pulling me. She's saying, the planet is saying, the essence of this world is saying, yo, we need you to do what you're doing. Okay, so it's happening, y'all, and it's converting into the quantum world, which is the spirit world in front of you, which is the phones. Okay, so I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. When we come back, we're gonna start off with the birth of Melchizedek or Melchizedek, and we're gonna travel out through there, trying to see what else, some other things that he's covering. Yeah, we're gonna travel out through there, or yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Ain't no or. We're gonna finish this chapter, and then we're gonna do whatever the next chapter is. We probably go to the Christians or the creation or the slaves. We'll jump to another one. We got the living soul. We'll choose another one after this chapter. So it's gonna take us a few days, but we're gonna get past this chapter, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I will speak to y'all in the new day. We'll be back here tomorrow to finish up the birth of Melchizedek. Peace.